Best You Store, helping you do more, achieve more, be more. Store.thebestyou.co.
What does it take to be an MBA?
I mean, much like being good at anything, being great at anything, you just have to endure extensive periods of mundanity. I don't think people realize, because people watch the games and they watch us arrive and they watch the fact that we have our own planes, not each of us as individuals, but teams have their own planes, and we have nice cars often. And they think, this is what being in the NBA is about, but it's really not. Being in the NBA really starts with, after the game, you get into the locker room, and you've got 10 minutes to shower before the media can come in and ask you any question they want. You know that after that period, half of your team who didn't play enough minutes, you don't play about 25, 30 minutes a game, you run a risk of losing your edge, will have to go into another side locker room, get on a bike or a treadmill, and run for 45 minutes. And if you did play enough minutes, all of us guys are sat in a row in our own individual ice baths, chattering teeth. Then we go home, we eat some food, and we fall asleep. And you wake up the next day, and you have to stretch. And it sounds simple, but 100 games a year, stretching gets to be a challenge. You go to the gym, you do your weights, you do your yoga, you practice for 2 hours. You eat some food, you come back, you practice for an hour on your own, you sleep, and it's just repeat.
Hotel rooms, don't know where you are.
Yeah, I mean, that, one of the most disconcerting, it seems really trite, but one of the most disconcerting things that happened was there comes a point of the season where you wake up and you feel utterly disoriented because you're looking around and they're all beautiful hotel rooms and you have your own room. And you look around and you have no idea where you are, and you are reaching into your own brain to try and remember what day of the week is it. We landed at 2 a.m. What city did we land in? And that's all in the process. 10 o'clock in the morning, maybe, if you've had a really late night flight in. That's all in the process of knowing you have to eat breakfast and probably play again at 2. It's really disconcerting. So, I mean, that's what it really takes. Are you willing to? I have this narrative where I talk about paying the fee: focus, effort, execution. Are you willing to pay the fee? And if you're willing to pay the fee of staying focused on the tiny details, on the minutiae, if you're willing to put in effort in every moment, not every other, not the ones where people are watching, every moment, and then above that, execute, which is not just do things with great intensity, but do things perfectly with great intensity, always, then you can be great. Not asking too much.
The Best You TV, a TV channel with only the best business leaders and influencers ready to help you rise to the top. Available now on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play. Are you in the personal development world trying to reach a larger audience? Are you a motivational speaker, an author, therapist, coach, or business guru tired of pushing out content with little results? Gain more clients and expand your business today. Get your show or content on The Best You TV. Are you sick and tired of struggling to get your career to where you want it to be? Working with the right coach can be a life-changing experience, and Bernardo Moya is changing lives all over the world. Learn how to create revenue streams, attract higher qualified clients consistently, market your brand, and promote your business to a global audience. Bernardo is one of the biggest names in the world of personal development. He is an entrepreneur, an author, a speaker, and a founder and chief inspirational officer of the Best You Corporation. So fast-track your career now.
Hey, welcome back. So we've had an amazing day. I love when it all comes together, and you see all the work that we put in, you see all the energy that we put in, and and everything literally coming through. It was lovely and amazing to have such an amazing lineup of speakers yesterday. We had Vicky Sciattini, we had John Shin, great energy. John Shin, absolutely loved him. He's a powerhouse. We were showing the Think and Grow Rich, the movie, and it was just brilliant. David Fagan and I, we discussed all sorts of things related to TV, and we had Mas Sadadi, who is not going to be able to joining us today, but Mas is one of the new founders of the Best You TV as well, and he did a great talk as always, very engaging. And today, today we've already had, as I said, we've had Darren Winters, and we've had Bill Walsh, and we've just we had Dr. Fabrizio Mancini this morning, and we just had Lisa Nichols as well. Loved Lisa Nichols. I thought it was a phenomenal presentation as always, just such a great quality talk. We were all there engaged, and then she gave us a little masterclass of what it is to become a phenomenal international global speaker. So look, as you know, we're streaming this through the TV, through the Best You TV, which is available on Roku, Apple, and Amazon. And you just need the Amazon stick, you need the Apple TV box, or you need the basically the Apple, Roku, or Amazon stick, and that's it. And you can watch it. You can look for the app. It's going to be available on the iOS, which we're very excited. It's going to be available very soon. So this particular segment we're going to have here is to present you, to introduce you to some of our founders for the Best You TV, which obviously are supporting us. And not only that, we're just very excited in being able to work with them and collaborate with them and exploring how we can build a phenomenal, inspiring TV channel that can reach millions of people in multiple languages. So that's what we're going to be discussing here. I'm going to be inviting some of the guests to come in. I've got Doria Cordova joining me, which I'm very excited about. We've got Nicola Smith Jackson, and we've got Vicky Sciattini. Ideally, we will hopefully have also Dr. Fabrizio Mancini if he's going to joining us too, and then which he's there. So I'm going to be bringing them in a minute. I just wanted to very quickly just play one of the series that we're going to be running in the Best You TV. Is called the Best TV series. I'll play that, and then I'm going to invite my guests to come and join me. Thank you so much.
People want to be the best, become the best, learn from the best. That's why in 2021, the Best You TV will bring you its new TV series that will feature the top and the best speakers, coaches, authors, and mentors. Coming soon to the Best You TV.
Well, we're very excited to be bringing in some of the founders, people that are going to be supporting us. So why don't I start with who we've had working since the beginning, since this morning. Dr. Fabrizio Mancini, join me, please.
Thank you, Bernardo. It's so great to be with you again. And what a day it has been today. Excited to be a part of this.
Well, I'm very excited to have you. So listen, we're going to play very quickly your show that's already available on the Best You TV. So let's just play Dr. Fabrizio Mancini's show, Thriving in the New Normal, and then we'll bring the other guests in as well. Thank you.
We are living in unprecedented and uncertain times. Thriving in the New Normal is my new TV show created just for you. Are you aware that while most people are surviving during this new normal, others are thriving like never before? Which one are you? Circumstances have never defined a person. Our responses do. What if you could experience the thoughts and behaviors of some of the most successful people in the world and how they have chosen to respond? Let us help you become the person you were destined to be and not just your current reality. You deserve it. Get ready to thrive. Watch my show now on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play.
Well, thank you, Fabrizio. Thank you so much for helping us on the Spanish stage today. Thank you for speaking. You're speaking on the Spanish stage tomorrow as well, aren't you?
Yes. So I did a presentation today, pretty much the rituals of how to manage your time, especially during this pandemic. And then tomorrow I'm going to be sharing the same presentation, but in Spanish. And it was actually really engaging today. I had a lot of fun, and the feedback has been amazing. So time is one of those things that when we manage it properly, then we can get the outcomes that we're looking for.
Brilliant. Fabricio, we always have a bio for everyone, but I wanted you to just simply summarize in a sentence or two. Who is Fabricio Mancini?
Well, I always like to think of myself as an ordinary guy, just that has decided to be extraordinary as far as my behavior, my thinking. And I started as a healthcare provider, and I became very well known in the world of natural health by being not only a great practitioner, a president of one of the leading health universities in the country, but also by being the health expert media expert for most of the big shows like Dr. Phil, The Doctors, and Fox News, and others. And then, I mentor millionaires because I believe that as we become successful, one of the things that a lot of people have a difficult time is how do you sustain success? And because of my long trajectory in that space, I'm able to help people understand the balance of being successful, not only professionally, but also personally. And really, my heart is about serving people. And what I'm loving about The Best You, not only The Best You TV, but also this event, is the fact that we are bringing content that is extremely powerful, especially during this time, not only for the English-speaking people, but also for the Spanish-speaking people. And we have a world in Latin America that is going through similar challenges like the rest of the world, but there's very few personal development gurus that really have a platform like the one that you've created. So very excited about being a part of both. And I know that this weekend will be transformational for everybody that joins in.
Well, thank you, Fabricio. Thank you for your help and support. I wanted to invite now Doria Cordova, who was actually just speaking on the Spanish room. Doria.
Hola, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, hola.
Hola.
Todos latinos juntitos.
¿Cómo estás, Doria? ¿Bien?
Muy bien, me encanta. I love speaking in Spanish. I stumble a little bit, but I got there and I just love talking to them. And one of the things, Fabricio, that I was telling the whole group in Spanish is that it's in our DNA for us to be entrepreneurs and for us to be healthy and to be happy. We live a lot longer than a lot of other races, definitely a lot longer than Asian races. And I know this for a fact, having been there for 35 years. So the Latinos, we already have that in our DNA to want to be healthy, to want to be successful, and to do it on our own terms and in our own way. We just don't like being codependent on anything,
You know what?
Well, yeah. You're an ambassador. You are a networker, a connector, an entrepreneur, a visionary. So many things. How would you define yourself, Doria?
Oh my God. I am really a very simple person that was put on the planet to solve some major problems so I can go back to heaven. and I can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. I just really love connecting with other beautiful human beings that have created platforms and products and services, and to collaborate. I mean, we're students of Buckminster Fuller. As you see behind me there is the stuff of Buckminster Fuller. And he said the key is collaboration. And I think that finally we got to a place. There were quite a few of us back in the 70s and the 80s, and we were called hippies, right? We already had started collaborating, but not the world has actually really woken up that we really need to collaborate. And so I'm a collaborator, I'm a cheerleader. I was a college cheerleader anyway, but I'm really a cheerleader of people just really making the world work for 100% of humanity through spontaneous cooperation, in the shortest possible time without any ecological offense or the disadvantage of anyone, which is the question that Buckminster Fuller left us as a legacy for us to live. So I know all three of us do that, and we all have beautiful business and platforms. So why not collaborate and move it faster?
Well, absolutely. Well, Doria, we'll talk more a little bit about what Doria's show, what she's going to be doing, and I want to express, for you to invite to come and join her. She does Fridays with Doria, where she brings people from all over the world, the most inspiring speakers. I've had the pleasure of being there myself. I actually met Ken Honda there. So thank you, Doria, for who you are. Let me bring in now, I wanted to bring in Vicky Schettini, who I believe is here as well. Vicky. Hey,
Hi,
Vicky.
how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic and extremely excited to be here. And I have to tell you, Dr. Mancini's smile, I can't stop staring at it.
It's just like,
It won't go away. I try. It won't go away.
That's okay. Don't let it go away. I was like, I'm smiling backstage. I'm like, why am I smiling? Nobody's looking at me.
And he doesn't age. He's been the same for the last 20 years. Everyone that I speak to says he's just, you don't want to be with him because he's just very annoying. He never ages, never loses his hair. He's got a smile. Vicky, how would you define yourself? And Vicky Schettini has been a big supporter of the Best You. She's spoken at quite a few of our experts. She's our real estate expert. So how would you define yourself, Vicky?
And I think Doria just said it, is, I was born in Uruguay, South America, and we as Latin have that entrepreneur. I don't know if it's the way we were raised or whatnot. When coming to the United States, my dad dying young, my mom had never worked a day in her life, and she went and got 5 jobs. And my job at 12 years old was taking care of the household. I had to cook, clean. She would my brother had to go to work, and I figure out what bills to pay. And I got creative that way, and I got really good at it. So I think having, unfortunately that happened with my dad, but it did teach me a good lesson on how to run a household at that young age. And I became good. So that helped me starting my businesses going forward. But I'm same as other people. It's just, I don't give up. And that's what I always say, with whatever it takes, failure is not an option for me. And I made mistakes because I was homeless 5 years ago, and I just did not give up. I pushed through, and I'm back on top.
Brilliant. Well, Vicky, thank you for being here. And thank you for supporting
for having me. I'm excited.
I'm very excited. And I'm going to introduce someone that has been introduced to me by Doria, Nicola Smith, Nicola Smith Jackson. And I'm very excited to actually see it because I've only seen Nicola. Hey, how are you, Nicola?
Hello, everyone. Wow, this is really awesome. So am I the only one on the panel that do not speak Spanish? but I do have a Spanish background. My mom and dad are immigrants. I'm the first generation of American citizens. So my mom was born in Panama, and she was raised in Jamaica. So my dad is also from Jamaica. So that's a spicy combination, right? So we talk about
a lot of spice going on there.
Yes, work ethic and know how to shift with change. And so I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Bernardo, and thank you, my meme, Dame Doria, for inviting me. And hello to everyone else. Hello.
Yeah, Nicola. So how would you? Because the reason I invited you on, I said Mas, who was also a fan, couldn't join us. Now he had a client he had to deal with. So basically, you guys are kind of like, you're my team, you're my board, my directors. We are the visionaries who are gonna, create this phenomenal platform that potentially reaches millions of people, where we can produce films and we can create shows and we can, really orchestrate how we could inspire the younger generation and people around the world and educate them, with all the resources that we know are available that they don't necessarily have. So Nicola, you've also got a kind of like a financial background. Tell us how you would define what you do and who you are.
Well, I can definitely define myself as a prior to an overworked hairstylist that, came upon hard times. And this is the thing, is that my mistakes and my mess has become my message. And that's what makes me very passionate about helping people transform not only their life, but their mind. When I can think about coming from a divorced household, things got extremely tough for our family. And I watched my mom raise 4 children by herself. And I could remember very cold winters in a single family home, and without heat, and that was very challenging for me. But I never saw my mom lose faith. I always saw her continue to keep her faith. I always saw her continue to show us love, and she made things happen. And so she gave me that get it done attitude. So I saw when she went from working in corporate America to becoming an entrepreneur, and our life changed drastically. That anchored me that the entrepreneurship was where I wanted to go. Even though I was a straight A student, I went to college and I quit and I started a business. It was hard because my mom is like, we don't come to the States for you to just be hairstylist. But I did grow it into a business. I always had an enterprising mindset. But what I did not have was the financial literacy. I didn't know that 67% of the entire world was financially literate, that they don't know how to properly manage as well as secure money for a lifetime. They may know some basics, but they don't know how to have the money sustain them for a lifetime, and more importantly, for the next generation. So myself becoming a first generation multi-7-figure earner in the space of leadership, right? I did not understand that I had those values to add, and I began to grow 450,000 people over a 13-year period in an industry called network marketing. But what I did understand is relationship capital. Relationship capital helped me understand the value of other people's lives. And so what I did is really become a servant leader in making sure that other people got what they want, and eventually I got what I want, which is a life of freedom where I was able to be a mom full-time, be available to my kids. And that was important because by 23, I had buried 3 children. So it was extremely important for me to be able to not have money as a problem, but still have life. Right? So that means I didn't want to be a public success and a private mess. And I bumped my head along the way, but I've gotten it down pat. So now I help people do the same thing. And so it's fair, especially right now, while people are believing that, hope is lost, hope is gone, I'm able to, those spiritual roots that I use to take myself through the hard times, now I help people navigate towards their true self, where they can now not only survive, but thrive. And I heard that with Dr. Fab, and I was like, wow, yes. I say that myself. So powerful. So I'm excited to be here and contribute and serve, because that's what I know how to do.
Brilliant. Well, we're looking forward to your talk. You're actually speaking after we finish this panel, yes. Which we're very excited about. So that's going to be, well, it might be actually around half an hour or so. But anyway, in the meantime, what I wanted to do was just start the conversation around how we would like and how you would like to contribute to, the idea of creating a ways and methods and systems where we could, reach more people, where we could really, between us, join forces. I mean, part of the process for me was when I came up with the idea of the Best You TV was always about bringing everyone together and bringing all the experts together. But then on the other hand, it was important to build a short and small community of in this case kind of founders, partners that could help us kind of shape how we potentially, each and every one of us, will deliver expertise, but also how we could then together bring other experts and bring well-being brands and bring other expertise that we might not be sharing. So I don't know, today I was talking to 3 ladies. They were running a panel about women and about empowering women, and we were talking about that. And I said to them, well, why don't we do just a big expo for women? Why don't we just do a big expo for women where we bring everyone, educators, politicians, and we bring all sorts of people and leaders to start having the conversations where men participate as well. And we could talk about, how could we really change the culture, the mindset of, still trying to keep women at home and having the old fashioned way of thinking. And with that in mind, well, then, and for me, I thought, well, why don't we have within the channel content that is aimed exclusively for women? Those are the kind of brainstorming ideas that I would love to have. But how do you see each and every one of you? I know you, Fabrizio, you're already ahead of the game. You've got your show, Thriving in the New Normal. Doria is going to develop hers, although she already has a lot of content and a lot of contact, and Vicky. So how do you see each and every one of you? Let's try and keep it relatively short, concise on how we see what we would like to do. Doria, go ahead.
I just want to say real quickly, I called Nicola, just so you know, the Beyonce of financial literacy. She's a rock star in that. And she and I have already started collaborating, and we do quite a bit, and we have completely different, markets, but we also collaborate. But I had this thought. My mama, who's still around, 95, she saw me working with Biden and the new administration. She says, you have to let them know. And I had this wild thought when I was reading a Vanity Fair magazine article that was exactly what you're talking about, Bernardo, about that becoming the Netflix, of education. And I thought, how about I would love to participate in creating it so that we could actually show it. We all have ways of connecting with presidents. I know I do. I'm sure you all do too. And we could actually present to them, their new administration, like a place that they could send people to. So the Best You, TV is like government, not sponsored, but can say, hey, this is a great place, so that we have that kind of leverage and we can really reach so many people. And then we can bring the people like Bobby DePorter, who has been working with teenagers, for nearly 40 years, that actually co-created the business that I inherited. So if we can just think of leveraging, creating this platform being so powerful, and of course, Fabrizio, with that, I was going to have a completely different presentation. After seeing yours, it's like, oh my God, I have to be that good. So you set the standard on how we're going to present ourselves. So that's my thought, that we can be a little bit of how about if we just strive to be the U.S. new government, chosen educational channel. That's my thought.
I love it. And that's where we just throw that on the floor there. Hey, how could we get into the government, and how could we start, really inspiring? That's it. I'm looking at the moment I was introduced to someone that produces and raises money for films, and I'm with the objective of the channel. Well, I've said, yes, let's see if we can go and create one, which is all around the concept of the Best You. It does have obviously ideas around a little bit about my book, about the question and asking empowering questions, but more about, for me, that everything related to the personal development world and this film is about teaching people to become better people. Okay. And that's the whole idea, which we came up with the campaign a few years ago, the Best You, a better world. So if we start creating better individuals, the world's going to be better, end of. And then when they start becoming better, then we will start to, talking and having the conversations we need to have. I watch a lot of the Netflix documentaries. There was one about the avocado and how it's creating water shortages in cities and towns, talking about bottling water, which is literally tap water, which, that these companies are making billions of dollars and they're polluting the planet. You talk about plastic and you talk about global warming and you talk about slavery. At the end of the day, what personal development has to do, it has to start creating awareness where we start educating people, say, what are you doing? Okay, so now you're a better person. What are you doing to make the world a better place? And that's the idea behind this film, which I'm hoping we can raise some money. But I think there's so many other projects, shows, all sorts of commercials that we could put, where we could start putting our minds together and say, hey, who do we know? Because, at the end of the day, a lot of these productions now, they don't cost that much, $200,000, $300,000. And, what big well-being company that is really about well-being would not like to have their name associated to these kind of things? And where we would always be benefiting because, hey, we're the experts. We're saying, and then we've been involved in producing it and creating it. So that's why I'm excited about, having these conversations. And you probably don't know what you're getting involved in, because we're going to be meeting every 4 or 6 weeks and having these brainstorms. And what are we doing? And what are we doing? And what are we doing? But that's the plan. So I love it.
Wow. I can definitely, if I may share,
Sure.
I can definitely see bringing the Best You TV to, I would say, the underdiscovered. I have been a contributor on Yahoo Finance a few times where, they've asked me, well, what can we do about the pandemic? And I said, everyone is not broken. There are people who are earning significant income and they've lived basic lives, but they just are in different business models. We have to now begin to shift our mind to know that business is not the same as yesterday. And so even for myself, I'm an example of a person who was in a traditional type of business, the cosmetology field. But guess what? Many people who are entrepreneurs don't know personal development. So we have had a huge thrust of entrepreneurship into the marketplace because of the loss of jobs. And so we all know, as being entrepreneurs, that is really about the mindset first, but most people put the business first. So we need to definitely pivot into that entrepreneur space as well, including the home-based businesses where people are doing like affiliate marketing as well as network marketing. I'm going to share that because a lot of people tippy-toe around that, but I've built a 9-figure business in that industry. And then also I have my Pink Millionaire Club, but I would have never been able to fund that and a lot of the other businesses or investments that I have had I not been able to get into a low risk, low investment business that had a very high upside potential. And I know that many people, because that industry is really, most people unlearned about that industry. However, most people, family members, have picked it up as a side gig. And sometimes they're even afraid to share that. However, that may be the way they're making an extra $500 to $1,000 just to keep their lights on or keep their house together. But they don't know, they don't want their friends and family to know. What we need to do, whether it's network marketing or whatever micro businesses, that is a huge market that many people are not looking at, even though I may help people create their first million from scratch. However, what about the scratch? We need to build the mindset and be proactive. So I think that inside of the entrepreneur space, just like we can target that inside of, online marketing efforts, we can look there, and also with my network, because I have grown a substantial network in that area and I'm trusted. So that's one area, as well as micro entrepreneurs, because I was that hairstylist, the micro entrepreneur who earned a 6-figure income and then went into another industry and went into multi-7-figure income. And then now I've used that to become an influencer on many other platforms. And so I believe that that's a very undiscovered area of people who really would need the help. And they are really big in personal development. Literally, we call it that industry. The coin is it's a personal development with a comp plan. That's what we call it. Personal development with a comp plan. So many people really grow into themselves, build their confidence, build their wealth mindset through that industry. And so some people just go there for the education by itself and go out and crush it in other businesses.
Well, for me, it's surprising. Like when you look at the government, for example, when they've been, throwing these checks and, giving these checks to people, which, families that need help. And I get it and I understand. But at the end of the day, it's that whole, the whole idea of teaching someone how to fish.
That's right.
So, you're giving them checks for what? Well, what are you giving them checks for? Why don't you actually just invest that money in them investing money? Say, hey, you're going to get this money, but this is the catch. Because you see, if at the end of the day, you said to them, look, we're going to give you this money, but you're going to have to learn how to trade.
That's right.
Because with this $100 or $6,000, you're going to make $60,000. Well, that's going to be a lot more viable and a lot more interesting. So, for example, a show could be, hey, we're going to create 100 millionaires in 365 days. Hey, there's a show. And all we need to do is just find the people that are going to, because it's very simple. We would grab these 100 people, give them skills that they don't have. And all of a sudden, we give them, hey, $1,000 each. And at the end of it, we've created X amount of people that are millionaires. So there's a show. It's educational. It's interesting. It's inspiring. That's what it has to be. When you see all these documentaries, which for me, don't get me wrong, they're very inspiring. I see a lot of stuff on Netflix, which is very informative, very educational, very inspiring. But it's not teaching. It's not teaching. Okay, so you're talking there's no water. What am I going to do about it? I need to help. I need to do something. And that's kind of the whole idea of what we're trying to do.
So if we can put our heads together and we bring more people like us that say yes, absolutely. Because someone like Elon Musk. I mean, if he farts, excuse my French, he's just lost $1 billion and $500,000. It doesn't even cost him anything. So someone like him to sponsor something or throw 100 million at something costs him nothing. And there's so many billionaires out there right now that I do believe have the right mindset. You look at Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, a lot of these guys have or are starting to have the right mindset of giving back. I think what we need to intend to do, which is not a small project, is to get rid of all the poverty in the world, because it's so doable with the amount of billionaires on the planet.
Yeah.
So it's education, really, and presenting these skills, because we cannot leave it to schools. We cannot leave it to educators. It's just not going to happen.
They don't understand it. They don't understand it, Vicki.
And I really like that idea, just coming from my background and whatnot, and even my show, it's about, I'm partial to the single moms because I've pretty much been one my whole life. And I just think that they go through this vicious cycle of get up, go to work, cook, clean, and you feel like there's no ending. But for people to see, like you said, if we bring in 100 people, they see the progress that everybody can make. Then if these people can do it, then you can too. Just because you're not in the show, but you're learning from the show. So then you can start building it yourself, as long as they get to see that it's just normal people. We all put pants on the same way. It's just what we did once we had the pants on, and I think that's going to be very, very powerful, bringing in a lot more people in.
Absolutely. And I think at the end of the day, that obviously it's down to the money, and it is. But I'm saying is I'm not sure how. I'll be honest with you. I've learned how to trade very late in my life, and I'm shooting myself in the foot, because I've always been very well read. I mean, I was around. Obviously, you can see by my white hair, I was around before Google and before Amazon. And I read about all these guys. I knew they were coming. Did I do anything? No. If I would have bought some shares, then I would have been a multimillionaire. I've made millions and millions and millions of dollars, and I've spent millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. So the problem is that, I didn't have that mindset of saying, I need to learn how to invest, because, at the end of the day, and that's the thing, I think a lot of the people miss the point within personal professional growth. And the point is, as important as it is to have the mindset, it's more important to be financially independent. The sooner you're financially independent, the easier it is to have the mindset. So if the programs and all the projects and also Fabrizio, I think with your approach, because it obviously fits in as well with personal development, it is the holistic approach. You need to meditate, you need to exercise, everything is important, everything is important. But at the end of the day, I think, to say, if we could find a way where we could, we're going to create the next 1,000 millionaires in the US, 1,000 millionaires in 365 days. What do you need? You know what? You just need $3,000 or $5,000 for each, where we will then not only give them the money for them to go and invest it to build a business, but we'll teach them skills, the skills that they can have to then go out and really make a big difference,
This is powerful, because this is actually what I do. So this will just be second nature. That's exactly what I do. I literally I wouldn't even call them case studies now, because it's like I know the system. I have it's called the Money Mansion. It's a financial ascension system that teaches them from the very beginning about income generation, but I teach them leveraged income generation. And I learned that through Money and You from the very beginning, because we teach labor income generation. We should teach leverage income generation from the time we, discover that we have to have additional income. So not only about when you earn money from a business, we start to look for other opportunities around your business where you can still earn additional money without the labor. And so the thought process is so huge on teaching them that from the very beginning. But I have an entire system that
I think the challenge has been or is that at the end of the day, and I appreciate obviously kind of like, your experience on Dori and what you bring, but, then also you got Vicky with, investing in real estate, then Fabrizio with the mindset and obviously health and wealth. The thing is at the end of the day is, how do you make learning sexy? How do you make, learning exciting? How do you make, TV shows that are, well,
and simple.
you,
Simple. It has to be simple. One of the things I've always heard is that it's intimidating. A lot of the personal development, the words that they're being used are not relatable. One of the biggest breakthroughs I've had is speaking the language of the everyday people. Because when the barrier is the inferiority, the imposter complexes are there, and we're speaking at them or versus teaching them how to think versus saying what they should think, that's a big barrier. So even in our delivery should be meet them where they are and then bring them up, not tell them to come up to where we are, because there's a lot of glass ceilings that they have to break. So what I think is that idea, when I even teach investing, I'm like, hey, you get the money, I create like this budget and I let them write it out on this vision and they pull out this money. And I've had single moms, people never invested before, not only having homes, Airbnb homes, investing in stocks, understanding it in a simple way. Something like, hey, if you shop there, shouldn't you own it? Something as simple as, if you would buy from them, don't you want to be an owner? So I teach them ownership mentality versus just being a consumer. So they start thinking like everything I buy, I want to own, versus making it like, oh, we're investing in the Dow, the S&P. I know the logistical side of it, but I want them to have it where, oh yeah, I get that.
It makes sense. It makes sense, Nicola. What I was referring to is it wasn't so much about the language and how you teach them, because everyone has a system which is about how do you bring the masses. You see, and that's where the difference. That's where the television comes in. You see, because Tony Robbins does a fantastic job, but he can only put 8,000 or 10,000 people in an event, and that's great. But for me, it's not good enough. I'm saying we need to reach hundreds of millions of people, and it isn't about kind of what am I delivering and how am I engaging? How am I making that everyone wants to watch this? How am I making it that everyone wants to be part of it? How am I making it that I have to be part of this? That's the objective, and that's what I think personal development is. It thinks too small, and that's what I'm thinking is that what we're doing, which we're doing, and there's some, a lot of us, we're doing great things. I consider that I'm doing okay. I'm trying to engage with people. Not good enough. It's not good enough. We have 6-7 billion people on the planet, and there's some serious issues that need addressing. And the only way we're going to do it is if we think as big as possible, and thinking big is thinking TV. So that's kind of the concept. It isn't necessarily what is it I'm teaching or delivering, is how are we going to really bring and create attention around the world.
Well, that's talking about the movement.
Yeah, the movement, exactly.
Yeah, and so they have to want to come. That's what I was speaking to, attract them.
Yeah.
That's when I was speaking.
The vehicle is the television.
So
and I think one of the things that Nicola said.
Just a minute, Vicky. I want to give Doria. Go ahead.
I wanted for Fabricio to speak for just a few minutes, because his niche right now with health. I mean, right now we're talking about COVID becoming a very intense flu that is going to be part of it. So Fabricio has really a great pool, and I'm sure you thought about it. Fabricio, I just wonder what you think about all of this.
Yeah, and I would say, it's amazing how insightful all the comments have been. The way that I look at this, I look at it from different perspectives. Right now, as I look at the world statistics, mental health has become a major issue. And I truly believe that personal development and the Best You TV is a resource. It's a resource, and it's a great language, Doria, that the way you talked about for the governments. Governments right now are really trying to figure out how are they going to help the mindset of individuals that don't have a job, that are having financial difficulty, that have found themselves lost, that have maybe been in an industry that has been completely annihilated and they have to start again, even though they're in their 50s or 60s. So that's an issue there. But I always thought about, for me, one of the things that I learned in personal development early on in my life was the fact that the circumstances have never defined me, that I select the response. So I believe that the Best You TV is about giving people the opportunity to experience different responses based upon all the beautiful talent that is there. And I believe that that's what makes it attractive. That's what makes it sexy. but it has to be relevant, right? In the media, Nicola, you mentioned in the media, when we do Fox News, I have to speak at a 5th grade level because that's what we are. If I do PBS, I can go to 11th grade. But that is the mentality that we're dealing with today. We got to use simple language. If a 5th grader can understand it, don't expect the audience to understand it. And we also have to be brief. We cannot go on and about information because the attention span has gotten so brief that if it's not a 30-second soundbite, then all of a sudden they tune in the channel. They tune into another channel. So we have to be very careful about that. And then the second thing that I thought, for you, Bernardo, to answer the question that you started, I believe that for me as a way of contributing is to, all of us are influencers and all of us many of us have been around for a long time and we've been part of this family for a long time. But one of the things is that we have a lot of talent out there that has not been able to effectively find the right platform to deliver their message. To me, my mission is to identify everyone that I can to look at the Best You TV as a medium, as a platform to reach the masses, number one. And then secondarily, to be able to offer this medium to the masses by being able to provide the best quality content. Because, if you want to make something sexy, Bernardo, if you want to really have the law of attraction work for you, it has to be valuable. That means that the content has to be so good that people will tell everybody in the world, you got to tune in because this is changing my life.
Absolutely, and that was it, and that's exactly it, Fabrizio. It's the sensational, title of the show or the film or the movie or whatever it is that we need to produce or we need to create. Are the conversations we need to have that people will say, oh my God, that is amazing, and I need to be part of it. But it starts with that, Fabrizio. It starts, first of all, look. It started here, okay? It started with me, and then it started with you guys, and this is being streamed. But this is it. The whole idea is about brainstorming, having the conversations, bringing the people together that could then contribute and be part of the conversation, And I know there's a lot of people, I know through Doria, she's got amazing connections in China, amazing connections in the Middle East. And then obviously with you, Fabrizio, and trying to see how we can get into the Spanish-speaking market in South America. This is it. I realize, look, I can't do it on my own. I don't want to do it on my own. And ideally what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see how we could really educate people, but reach potentially tens of millions of people. Because as I said, us doing our courses, writing our books or running an event is just not good enough. It's just not big enough. We're not going to reach the millions and millions and billions of people that we need to reach. Because I was sharing before, I think, I don't know if it was with you, Fabrizio, we're talking about what's happened with COVID in this year and what's still going to happen has created such a massive change in such a short period of time that I don't think people really appreciate how much the world has changed and how much more the world is changing and the speed of that change. So I think, looking at how much change has happened in this relatively short period of time, I think we could create also an exponential massive change in a relatively short period of time, so we can really make a big dent quickly.
And your name already you got a little bit of an advantage. I was looking at the First Lady. She had that project called Be Best, right? She put it all over. Now what we're going to do is we're going to follow up with The Best. UTV, we can really play on words. I was just thinking, how are we going to do this? And I just wanted to say real quickly that Nicola reaches an amazing amount of the African American community. She is from Georgia, from Atlanta, and so we are really reaching some beautiful markets here. Anyway,
well, and listen, and I said that before, Nicola. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was going to say that before, and we're good looking, because we can't have many people. I'm only joking.
Are you familiar with the Clubhouse app? Is everyone familiar with the Clubhouse app?
I just downloaded it a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, well, let's start some rooms. The Best You. Yeah. We can create the club, The Best You. Go in there. Because I'm in the Clubhouse app yesterday. I was invited, I was pinged in. I've been doing my podcast, and I do my podcast. I'm at 1,065 episodes of my podcast. And what I just started doing was click the Clubhouse and start a room at the same time. Well, now some people started coming in. Even the gentleman from Snowfall, the new, his name is Amen Joseph. He's an actor on a show that's coming out, Snowfall. And he came in and he said, listen, I want you to help me with my, I want to bring how to help people, break into Hollywood. And your Power Moves planner, I want you to do that. Help me do that. So what happened is they brought me on a stage that had like over 1,000+ people, and Grant Cardone, everyone has been on that stage. Well, I started networking with a lot of the people from the stage where they start pinging me into the larger groups. So what I need to have is we can have the one-line pitch that even when I let them know, hi, I'm Nicola Smith Jackson, founder of Pink Millionaire Club, as well as co-founder with The Best You TV. And then I can start sharing. Everyone will always go and follow, but we need to have a presence there because there's a large amount of influencers there, and they already have the audience. So we can go to people who already have the audience and get them, their audience is automatically going to come.
I love that,
That's a
Nicola.
great idea.
And listen, I've got to say, just because I'm conscious of Nicola actually speaking. First of all, Nicola, I want to thank you. I think that's a brilliant idea. And what I'm going to do anyway is after the expo finishes, I will get Alex to schedule a time that's convenient for all of us where we'll have a proper Zoom, we'll have a little brainstorm. Mm-hmm. We can now take this as some planting seeds for our next conversation and take it from there. But I wanted to say to you from the bottom of my heart, I'm extremely grateful to each and every one of you for being part of it, for supporting me, and for being involved in The Best You from the beginning. So I really mean it. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye. Nicola, you stay around. I'm going to be. She's going to be coming on stage as she has a talk. But Fabrizio, thank you so much. Thank you, Doria. And what we're going to be doing now, well, listen, we have Ken Honda speaking at 5 p.m. This is so exciting. I can't wait to listen to Ken. It was Doria who actually introduced me to Ken Honda. I heard I heard Ken for the first time in Doria's Friday with Doria. She does this phenomenal networking every Friday, which I highly recommend that you sign up for. That's where I listened to Ken Honda for the first time, and he's speaking here later on at 5. So I'm very excited about that. But we're going to play a quick commercial first about the TV, and then we're going to have Nicola Smith Jackson, who's going to be, well, literally sharing her expertise. As you can see, she's a powerhouse, and we can't wait to listen to her talk. But first, let's play a quick commercial about The Best You TV. Thank you.
People want to be the best, become the best, learn from the best. That's why in 2021, The Best You TV will bring you its new TV series that will feature the top and the best speakers, coaches, authors, and mentors. Coming soon to The Best You TV.
Hi, so we're back, and we're going to be introducing you to Nicola Smith Jackson. Now, Nicola is already a co-founder of The Best You TV, but she has a fantastic and a brilliant story. She started from humble beginning as an overworked hairstylist and college dropout. Serial entrepreneur Dame Dr. Nicola Jackson has over 25 years of entrepreneurial experience. Nicola is passionate about helping people to create growth mindset so they can develop their purpose and create work-life balance. She also helps them reach their full potential by empowering them with financial literacy, money management, and fostering economic development. Very, very important things. So, Nicola, thank you so much. I am very excited. I'm looking forward to listening to your talk. So thank you so much for joining us and being here today.
Thank you, Bernardo, and thank you again for the opportunity. The Best You TV will definitely be a household name. So hello, how are you? It's Dame Nicola Smith Jackson. I'm very grateful to be here to share with you 5 power moves that you can make to earn more income now. Isn't that what most people are looking for? I know for myself, there was another downturn in the economy in 2008, and I was at Overwork Hairstylist. I also had my side gig in real estate, and my husband also was doing construction. But guess what? Everything was tanking at the same time. And I just wish that there was someone who would give me specific guidance at that time for what I can do to turn things around. Gratefully enough, I fell on a new business and, used skills that I had in my, as a hairstylist, and I grew what people would call a little mini empire. Well, guess what? First generation to do something, but that was extremely hard. So what I'm here to do right now is to help you understand that in the midst of the downturning economy, well, we're going back up. I'm not sure if you've already heard that, but we are. And so I want you to have hope. So I'm going to share these 5 power moves that you can make. They're moves that I make and continue to make on how I didn't only survive, but thrive in the economy and continue to help masses of people do the same thing. So the first thing that you want to do is, we talked about it a little bit, the mindset. We want to have a mindset adjustment. Why? Because things are always going to continue to change. But wherever there's an obstacle, there's an opportunity. The way that we literally create wealth is by creating solutions for problems. So we have a big problem when we start thinking about every sector has been hit, and it's been extremely hard. We've lost loved ones, we've lost money, we've lost, our bearings on even who we are, sometimes even in the country I live in America. However, whenever those changes are happening and anything go down, it's now the opportunity for the emerging markets, the emerging people who want to come up. And so that means this is your time. And so when you do that, the next thing you want to do is take a real look at your finances, right? Take a panoramic look at where your finances are now and create a budget, not off of what you had before, but where you are now. Now, it doesn't matter how much money you earn, a budget is necessary. And so if you can start doing that and really paying attention to what is coming in versus what is going out, I don't want you to get caught up in if there is a deficit. I don't want you to get caught up in if there is a surplus. I want you to just know how much more do you want to earn. And so this is a time, right, more than ever for you to think about becoming a business owner. I know you've heard of the 4 quadrants, right? Robert Kiyosaki, he has that, and everyone have used this. When we have a lot of entrepreneur employees who now are becoming, entrepreneurs. But then now we want to become business owners, and we can do that bigger than ever nowadays. We don't need the traditional brick and mortar businesses to become big business owners and then eventually become investors. However, we got to start where we are. So when you start thinking about business now, if you're starting out, think about businesses that are highly leveraged, meaning you can do a lot more with less money and less effort. So look at businesses that may have a low investment with a higher rate of return, and being able to use maybe some skills you already have, or maybe skills that you even used in your job. You'll be so surprised, even with the huge emergence of entrepreneurs, where what you probably did at your job and that was mundane for you can be the missing piece for another small entrepreneur, and you can turn that into a business. Sometimes you don't have to be the front face of the business. You can make a ton of money being the support of the business. You've seen Zoom, right? Zoom supported businesses on how we would be able to have meetings without that. And just like the best UTV, we'll be able to support businesses. But let me tell you something. There's no business too small that cannot scale to big. So when you think about that, I want you to also think about with your business, maybe who would your ideal client go to before they come to you? Who would they come to after they've come to you, whatever product and service you offered? And then where would they go instead? This will now help you to create leverage streams of income around what you do. And now you'll also be able to collaborate and support other businesses. This creates relationship capital. What many people are really unaware of going into the business world is how important relationship capital is. Providing even a support or even resources for other businesses that may be related to you. And you could literally acquire maybe affiliate links from these businesses that this could be money. Maybe your client, hey, listen, you offer the service, but maybe right after that service, they may need a continuity program that you don't offer. You can connect with that other business owner and you can get a piece of the pie every time. This will create a great ecosystem of cross-pollination, and I can tell you, we've been able to accumulate great friends, support, and you'll never even feel alone. So this is extremely important in talking about highly leveraged businesses. But now what you want to do is, with the money that you earn from the business, obviously you want to feed that business first. You want to have total immersion and concentrated focus in building that business so that you can move that business into profit. Well, it doesn't matter how small or large of the profit, you take portions of that profit and now you invest. You can literally start off with even, Robinhood.com. This is where even if you have $100, you could literally start investing and having your money work harder than you. This is one of the reasons that many Americans and people in the world ended up in issues around money, was because the money was not working harder than them. This is not a rich idea. This is an idea that anyone can use and scale. Can you imagine even you having maybe an extra $500, and even if you could not have afforded a full, maybe a crypto coin or maybe a stock, maybe, in Tesla, that you could actually have that $500 buy whatever you could buy? Robinhood.com is a great opportunity for you to check that out. But what you want to know is that money can be growing along with you. I'm not giving you advice specifically and say, go buy a specific stock. But what I am doing is opening you up to the idea that you want to have your money working harder than you all the time. And now this is creating, as I first described in step 1, 2, and 3, now you're having streams of income that you're not necessarily working for. Because don't you need time for your family? Don't you need time for your romantic love? You say, well, I don't have one. Well, maybe because we buried ourselves in work. But now we're able to take a full assessment. And with this, we're looking at prioritizing our life. I can tell you when I first started, getting an idea, I moved out of, going from, just week to week because I had a business, into really building wealth. It was when I prioritized my life and said, you know what? Yeah, I want to have above average income, but I don't want to be away from home all the time. I want to have time with my family. I want to spend time with my mom. I want to spend time with me. And then I created my life, that vision, and said, you know what? I reverse engineered my vision into my profit, not the profit before the vision. And then now I was able to build a life where I work primarily off from home. I don't miss a game of my kid. I'm there for my older children, my grandchildren. My husband and I, we re-sparked our love. And then you don't have to worry about the bank account all during a pandemic. You could do it too. And that's because of identifying, what do you want to really experience? Some people are afraid to even ask for what they really want because they don't believe they can get it. I used to think that same way, but you can try this. You can try this. And then after that, the fifth thing you can do is I highly encourage you to get help. Hang out with some peeps who may know a little bit more than you, always. You never want to be the sharpest knife in the drawer. Find places, masterminds, groups of people that, you know what, not will only be like-minded and support you and make you feel good, but that will challenge you, that will give you a bigger insight that maybe you're thinking too small. I did that. And what I did was I invested in myself. And so I encourage you that whatever mountain of influence you decide to be in business, whether it's from spiritual to education, maybe to media and arts, or maybe you want to go into just the business world. You want to know that there's always businesses within businesses, and you could literally create major impact in earning income right now. And so this is what I want to leave you with. I want you to really take a check-in with your heart. I know our hearts have been probably broken by all of what we've seen, but a lot of that we can't control. But can't we control how we think, what we feel? Sometimes we don't think we can. So I want to leave you with a few mind hacks, because you got to get into your head before anybody else does. I can tell you, if I hadn't learned these things, I don't know, maybe I would have thought I wasn't good enough. Maybe I would have thought I wasn't the right gender or not the right color or race, whatever. But this has helped me become very confident in who I am. And I've used this to show people that everyone has value. Doesn't matter what you've been through. Doesn't matter what you're going through now. So for me, the first thing I do is I do prayer. I pray every day. I literally, prayer had been such a part of my life that I incorporated in business. I'm not telling you to incorporate it in your business, but you could incorporate it in your life. And even if prayer for you is just simply gratitude, thinking about things that you're grateful for, not the big stuff. Practice being grateful for the small stuff. Maybe that you even opened your eyes and that you can see. Maybe that you can smell. That's something good, right? Maybe that, hey, even if I don't have a home right now, at least I'm alive. We can start there. Gratitude opens up appreciation for yourself, even in others. Another thing we could do is we can meditate. Sometimes taking 6 deep breaths, where you can breathe in what you really want out of life and breathe out what's stressing you out. You can do that 6 times, deep breaths, like I'm breathing in peace. I'm breathing out chaos. You can do that 6 times. I'm breathing in confidence. I'm breathing out insecurity. Whatever it is that you really want, take that deep breath and breathe it in. It belongs there. And you can easily breathe out slowly. And you can do that whenever you want. Next thing you can do is maybe create an anchor for yourself. Well, an anchor is just a little reminder of what you want to remember, the positive stuff. Can you think of a time that you were happy, a moment you were happy? Maybe just a little moment. Maybe it was when you got your first car. Doesn't matter how long ago it was. Maybe when you got your diploma from high school. Maybe when it was your parent told you, good job. Go back to that moment briefly with me and just see it all over again. See whatever else was around you, whatever it was. And when you started smiling, I want you to stay right there. And then you can create an anchor, whether if you got a bracelet that you can flip off and that would remind you of that, whether it's a yes kind of thing that you can do before you do anything that makes you afraid. But you can't rely on only outside things to come in to make you whole. Many times you're going to be by yourself doing this. And so creating anchors are so powerful. Doing visualization is super powerful. I told you about creating that vision of your life, but put that in places where you can see. I literally have a vision board and a vision movie that I offer to many of my clients, whoever wants it. And this is now where they can go through their entire life, but they can see it every day, reminding them why they must not quit, reminding them why you must keep going. You know that the mind does not know time. You watch that board or those visualization movies every day, your mind will believe that you're there right now, and you'll start materializing many more things. And then I want you to do some self-care. Self-care. Fear of missing out is having us missing out. You know, when it's all said and done, it's about whenever we're done doing our work here, who is that going to be most important to? Our loved ones. I want you to take good care of yourself, because the healthier you are from the inside out is the more income you can earn without getting burnt out. So I want to connect the dots between the have and have-nots, whatever it is, right? There were so many things I had to go without in my life. And now that I have them and figured out a way to get it over and over systematically and simply, I think everyone should know. So thank you so much, the Best You Expo. I'm so grateful for Best You TV. I want you to stay tuned. Gather from the people who really care about you, even if they haven't met you. And that'll inspire you to start caring more about you too. So thank you. These were the 5 power moves that you can take to make more income right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was lovely, Nicola, and so to the point, so valuable, and your approach is just makes absolute sense. So it's about having your money working for you, not the other way around. And unfortunately, a lot of people just work for the paycheck and then they spend it all and don't invest it. And I know I used to hear it in the old days, well, long time ago. Oh, if you just put 10% away and you invest 10%, and you know what? And I remember when I was young, I used to laugh at that. I can't put 10% away. And I realized over the years, I could put a lot more than that away. And if you put it to work, and you were talking about Tesla, actually, funny enough, I bought Tesla, I think it was last year, and 220%, 240%
Right.
in 18 months, and it just keeps growing, and you know, and that was just an example. And funny enough, I did use Robinhood for a little while as well. So just some very simple but very basic and great advice.
But it can go advanced, because what we don't understand is that many people in the world, 67% of the world is financially illiterate. So in that standpoint, I don't want anyone to take that to offense. It just means that you don't know how to manage money for a lifetime. And meaning that where your money can even outlive you, right? And so when we begin to think about that, we'd never be able to labor ourselves into wealth or more than enough. The average millennial, they're saying they're going to need $2 million by the time that they retire. So that means that if you can look at the world changing and how you would need over $30,000+ for one Bitcoin, and now the banks are starting to accept that, we have to move swiftly and understand that everything is pointing to the basics that we probably should have done, but wasn't doing. And so it's extremely important that we don't make a person believe that they're going to need $1,000 or $10,000 to get started. Start with what you have and let it grow, because the power of compounding, Albert Einstein said, it's the 8th wonder of the world. And then you can start using that in business models as well. And so that compounding has been tremendous for me. And it has been a game changer for allowing me to have more time for my family. And I hear people say, you look younger. So I just kind of turned back the hands of time, this last year. And that was because I wasn't up and down on planes like I used to have to. I had that money working for me, but I had already planted that seed, and I was able to see. I wasn't afraid when I saw the downturn, because I knew that even if there's some companies that go down, there are going to be other companies coming up to be the new solutions. So I encourage people, don't only individual stocks, maybe look at ETFs as well, exchange trade funds. These are where they're a combination, or even broad index. This is where you can actually, have, bigger play in the market, with less money and protecting that principle. So,
well, they were just saying that if, anyone, I think Warren Buffett came up with that. Anyone that invested in the Dow Jones just simply on the small average growth of 1-2% per annum,
you'll never lose.
You'll never lose.
When maybe one company is down or up, it'll just replace the whatever position in the S&P 500, 100, or the small mid cap, wherever they are, it'll just replace. So therefore, your money will still be growing. You'll have corrections, but it won't be as hard of a hit,
Yeah. Well, Nicola, very excited about having you on board. Very excited in working with you, and I'm very, very grateful for what you shared here today. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Bernardo.
Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, guys, we're going to be playing a 5-minute commercial, and then literally within 10 minutes, we're going to have Mr. Ken Honda joining us here, the author of Happy Money. We're very excited, looking forward to that. So we're going to be playing a quick commercial. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you so much.
Hi, it's Bernardo Moya. I'm the founder of The Best You. I wanted to share with you my vision, my dream, the concept of The Best You. The well-being industry is worth $3 trillion. Why? Because everyone wants to become the best version of themselves. The well-being industry is massive, but there isn't a place where you could connect with everyone, a place where speakers, authors, leaders could share their expertise, and a place where people that are looking, seeking, interested in finding that knowledge for them to connect. So The Best You is a multi-platform, global platform. And what we have is we have a variety of products and services. Our first thing is the Best You Expo. Now, we've been doing this for the last 5 years, and over these last 5 years, we've had close to 70,000 people attend, and we promoted more than 700 speakers. Additionally to that, because we filmed every single event, we have more than 700 talks from world leaders, all in one library of content. Additionally to that, the Best You magazine with interviews with world leaders and experts on any and every subject related to personal and professional growth. And one of the most exciting projects that we're involved in now is the Best You Legacy Clubs. This will become the biggest, largest network for people in personal, professional growth. The Best You is now the fastest growing personal development platform on the planet. And the reason being is because we literally cater for anyone and everyone's needs in the well-being industry. Look, the difference between this event and any other event that you've seen out there is that the Best You has a very clear purpose. Our purpose is to help individuals find ultimately what they're here for, what their legacy is going to be. But we only really work with like-minded individuals. We work with people that believe in the same kind of values that we have. And that is that personal and professional growth is about helping others, not only helping yourself, if you know what I mean. Because there's a lot of that. There's all these events which are literally sales fest. We're not that. If that's what you're looking for, you need to go elsewhere. But if you're interested in working with a brand that has a phenomenal reputation, that is only working with the best, I hope you join us, because this is it.
Now, the Best You Personal and Professional Development Virtual Expos are happening globally in 2021. If you are a coach, a motivational speaker, a therapist, and are looking to transform your business, build a community, and generate customers from a global audience, this is the opportunity for you. Now is your chance to join forces with the Best You, one of the largest personal development brands on the planet. Book your speaking slot, your virtual booth, and get tickets to attend now.
One of the things I frequently say is that we don't think about what we're thinking about. And not only we're not thinking about what we're thinking about, we just have really terrible thoughts. A lot of people just have this terrible internal dialogue, which all they're doing is just being detrimental to themselves. They're saying terrible things to themselves. So the first thing you need to be is you need to be aware. You need to be aware of your thoughts. You need to be able to think what you're thinking about and making sure that what you're thinking about are things that are going to help you, empower you. And that's what I say normally is that the quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions you ask yourself. If you ask yourself empowering questions, unconsciously you're going to start finding ways in where you can find a solution to that, to go where you want to go. And one of the things I really find interesting and fascinating, that there's so many people that think, but then they think small. Oh my God, why would you? If you're going to think big. It's free. Think big.
Are you sick and tired of struggling to get your career to where you want it to be? Working with the right coach can be a life-changing experience, and Bernardo Moya is changing lives all over the world. Learn how to create revenue streams, attract higher qualified clients consistently, market your brand, and promote your business to a global audience. Bernardo is one of the biggest names in the world of personal development. He is an entrepreneur, an author, a speaker, and a founder and chief inspirational officer of the Best You Corporation. So fast track your career now.
Hi, we're back. We're looking forward to having Mr. Ken Honda joining us very, very soon. So it's been an amazing day, and I just wanted to emphasize the idea that anyone that is watching this live, if you're watching the Best You Expo, well, we're giving amazing prizes away. We've got fantastic giveaways. We're giving coaching lessons. We're giving you the opportunity to be able to train with Lisa Nichols, or get the course from Ken Honda, or maybe a speaking opportunity with Bill Walsh, or maybe winning one of our Expand Your Brand. There's so many opportunities. There's so many ways that you could benefit. So it's not only about you actually learning. It's not only about you attending and learning from the best speakers, but it's also about the opportunity for you to be able to work with the biggest thinkers and work with people that are literally here teaching you skills. So you could be learning from them, but you might be able to be training with them, coaching with them. They've been very generous. People giving us, like Dr. Fabrizio Mancini, one-to-one coaching for 1 month, valued at $5,000. Darren Winters, who just did some training today, he was giving one of his prime courses at $5,000. He was giving that away. We're giving away, as I said, Expand Your Brand. We're giving a TV series. You could be, we've already given the winner someone who's going to be in our best TV series. So that's happening throughout these 3 days, and we're announcing the winners every day. We're going to be announcing the winners also via email and on our Facebook group. So make sure that you do. And then on the other hand, I'm giving away my book, The Question, Find Your True Purpose. And each and every one of you, if you have already registered, well, you technically have already in your inbox access and a link. But if not, we're going to put a link here, which is going to give you the option for you to be able to download the book. And you can just literally search The Question, Find Your True Purpose. And there you literally can download the book for free. And it's the audio version. So we'll share the link with you, and you will be able to watch it, listen to it, and hopefully it's something that helps you and inspires you. In the past, over the years, I've obviously published and written 4 books now, and I've always done it with the intention of helping people achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve in life. But what I would like to do with the book is to hopefully reach tens of thousands of people and hopefully inspire them and hopefully trigger something and ask an empowering questions. I believe that the quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. So if you are interested in downloading the book, please do so. And as I normally say within the book, it's there's a section about honesty. If you love it, please tell everyone. And if you don't tell anyone. But that's what the book is also available in Spanish now. So there's the audio version. And if you can't find it for whatever, just send an email to info@thebestyou.co and we'll email you. If you're interested in working with us, you can go to thebestyou.co, www.thebestyou.co. And there you'll have the portfolio of all the things we do, the TV, the Expand Your Brand, the licensing opportunities, and everything else that we've got. So we're going to be having Ken Honda joining us in a minute. But what we're going to do is we're going to play another commercial and we're going to be right back. So thank you so much. See you in a minute. Bye.
The Best You TV, a TV channel with only the best business leaders and influencers ready to help you rise to the top. Available now on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play. Learn and grow from in-depth interviews, documentaries, inspirational talks, and motivational masterclasses from the world's biggest thought leaders, speakers, teachers, authors, coaches, and highly successful business gurus. The Best You TV is now live.
What do you think the best skills are? What should people be looking at?
Well, I think young people really should learn about money to start with before they get too far in debt. First, that's just a personal thing with me. I know that I had children. I wish I'd have done a better job. But, that people should learn how to start saving when they're very young so that they can get through hard times. And they should always keep in mind that, your goal can be to compete with somebody for a job that already exists. But man, if you look at how fast knowledge is changing, who knows, we may not have cars in the future. So being an auto worker may not be the best plan. And so no matter what job you do get or what job you're planning on, you should always be looking at what the forefront of the industries is. You should see the future coming. It's not like a big secret. There are magazines and the web and everything, and that it was obvious that selling computer programs was going to be a big business. And then as the net started growing, that there were jobs like web design and all of these things that, you should be constantly thinking, about what it is that you enjoy so much that you want to become involved in being at the beginning of it. You want to learn what you can learn about it and start looking into the future so that, instead of just selling yourself by the hour, you could conceive of starting a company. If you look at how technology changes, it's going to change the application in the marketplace. And having social skills, I don't care what job or where you go, your ability to be persuasive is important. Because you may be really good at something, but if you can't convince anybody of that, they'll hire somebody else. And people don't always hire the best person. It just doesn't happen. But they will hire probably the most persuasive person. So, if you learn to deal with money without believing that it's always going to be there, you got to have that little thing where you put nest eggs aside for those dark times. If they aren't dark times, that just means that you're way ahead of the game. Who knows? You might have enough money to invest in yourself, and believing that that your horizon of the future has to be bigger than you can conceive of. See, every successful businessman I've ever talked to, and everybody who's at the top of their field, went into that field first wanting to learn what somebody else knew. And then somewhere along the line, they believed that they could exceed the limits of what others believed about them. That people would go, well, you start in this company, you work really hard. If you're here for 40 years, you could rise to middle management, right? And some people hear that as something that says, that's your path in life. And some people go, well, maybe this isn't the right company, and maybe this guy's wrong. Maybe I could be running this company in 5 years. If I thought about it right, I had enough good ideas. And when you build beliefs about yourself that said, no matter how hard it is right now, there could be a place where all of this accelerates. And you start looking for those opportunities so you don't miss them when they come along.
Now, the Best You Personal and Professional Development Virtual Expos are happening globally in 2021. If you are a coach, a motivational speaker, a therapist, and are looking to transform your business, build a community, and generate customers from a global audience, this is the opportunity for you. Now is your chance to join forces with the Best You, one of the largest personal development brands on the planet. Book your speaking slot, your virtual booth, and get tickets to attend now.
Hi, and we're back. Well, I'm very, very excited. It's one of the highlights of the Best You Expo Miami, if not the one, Mr. Ken Honda. I'm going to bring him in a minute, but what I wanted to do is just read a very quick bio about Ken, and I'll share a little bit more about how I came across him. But he is the money and happiness expert. He's a best-selling self-development author in Japan, with book sales surpassing 7 million copies since 2001. His latest book is called Happy Money and the Japanese Art of Making Peace with Your Money. And well, he studied at the law Waseda. He studied law at Waseda University in Tokyo and entered the Japanese workforce as a business consultant and investor. Ken's financial expertise comes from owning and managing several businesses, including an accounting company, a management consulting firm, and a venture capital corporation. His writings bridge the topics of finance and self-help, focusing on creating and generating personal wealth and happiness through deeper self-honesty. Ken provides ongoing support through mentoring programs, business seminars, therapeutic workshops, and correspondence courses. Ken is the first person from Japan to be voted into the Transformational Leadership Council, a group of personal and professional development leaders. He is fluent in Japanese and English, lived in Boston, Massachusetts for 2 years, and currently resides in Tokyo. And he's actually, I think he's connecting from Tokyo. So I'm going to invite Ken to join me. And Ken, how are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was actually with Doria Cordova, who was just on here on stage a little while ago. And I said to her that that's how we met. And I got to say, Ken, I'm a massive fan. I am truly humbled and honored to have you here. We are blessed for you to share your expertise. And I can't wait to ask you a few questions afterwards. But I wanted to give you the floor and let everyone enjoy you, because thousands of people have registered to listen to you talk today. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Bernardo. And thank you so much, everybody. I'm so happy to be here, and I cannot show my gratitude. And I just woke up, so I hope my English will come out well. So I have about 45 minutes, and I want to talk about happy money and gratitude, and those things I learned from my mentor, Wahei Takeda. So I'm going to talk about how to invite happy money into your life. I'm broadcasting live from the future from you. It's your tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock a.m. And so let's start. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So I want to talk about happy money and gratitude at the same time, because gratitude is a main component of happy money. And the title is Happiness and Prosperity in the New Economy. Okay, next one. Next slide, please. Okay. So this is a book cover. I have, hold on, yes. Happy money is the concept that I got a few years ago when I was approached by a Japanese woman at the party. And she said, "Can I take a look at your wallet, Ken?" And at the time, a lot of magazine articles and on celebrities' wallet. So people are curious about how what kind of wallet they have. So I said, "Okay, as long as you give it back to me." And I handed over my wallet. And she pulled out Japanese notes, 10,000 yen. It's about $100. And she's checking something. She said, okay, this is great. And she was smiling and put back all the notes and gave my wallet back to me. And I got curious. And I asked her, "What did you do?" And she said, "Ken, you're good to go, because all your money was smiling." And I asked, "What?" And she said, if you are making everybody happy and receive money, your money is smiling. On the other hand, if you're unhappy and take advantage of other people and get money, or doing the work you don't like, your money is crying in your wallet. And I said, "What?" And she disappeared. So this mystery woman left me a question: is my money smiling? And on that night, I was thinking deep about money. Money can smile, money can cry. And so that was the inspiration of the book. And when I look at all the people around me who are very successful, there are two kinds. One very happy, one not so much. And on the other hand, there are people who are so happy and they're they're vibrating genuine happiness, and they're not making much money. And then I met this mentor that I'm going to talk about later. His name is Wahei Takeda. He showed me the way to the path to abundance and happiness. And this concept, happy money, came to me because I realized that if you enjoy money, both coming in, going out, you can be happy. But even though if you're making millions of dollars and still you're not happy with money you make and money you spend, you cannot be happy. So happy money comes to you when you appreciate your money coming in, and happiness, and when you spend it, can you do it with a smile? So that is the key to this happy money. And I was inspired to write books in English, and this is my first one, and it's been translated into Russian and Chinese and all the European language, like German, Portuguese, Spanish, and all the Asian languages to now. So I'm happy to introduce that concept. And I have written over 140 books and sold about almost 8 million now. And what I'm going to share with you today is about happiness and money. Many people don't associate money with happiness because they think there's two separate things. But for me, a genuinely happy people, and if they're truly in love with what they do, they have also abundance in terms of finance. And you know what's going on in the world, and many of us have been troubled with what's going on, and we don't know what's going to happen next. But as long as we keep this happy money in your wallet and in your bank account, you'll be okay. That is what I'm going to talk about. And all my books for the past have been focused on happiness and money and how to monetize your gifts, which if I'm given a chance, I'm going to share about it in the future. But happiness and money have been a fascinating subject for me, because my father was a successful accountant, yet he was into drinking. So since I was small, I've been thinking, why can you be happy even though you have a lot of money? So this inspired me into writing so many books. And my father took alcohol as his addiction, and I seem to have taken book writing as my form of addiction. That is the only addiction I could think of. That is the happiest addiction I can think of. So whenever I have a few minutes, I cannot just stop typing, because the talking about happiness and money have been my true joy. Okay, next slide, please. And this is the thing, the scene. I talk to thousands of people all the time, and now I'm doing virtually, but I'm so happy that I'm talking to people in the world. I don't know where you are. I don't know what time it is, but and this is where I am now. It's a European building, and we can seat 60 people, and I do a seminars all the time. Now, we're not doing it at least this year, but we've been doing a lot. Next one. And this is my library, all the books in Japanese and English and some other languages. So this, you can see, this is my heaven. Okay, so why gratitude is important. Next. Yes, please. Okay, can I do one at a time? So, okay, I can explain about this. Okay, why gratitude is important is it shifts your emotional state. For example, when you are living a life, and then we often find something that we complain about, but once we decided to be in gratitude, we realize that, okay, I thought this is terrible, but maybe if I just shift myself into gratitude mode. By the way, that's why I do it often. So when I'm in a complaining mode, I cannot get out of it. So I said gratitude mode on. It's like a robot, you know. I like all the robot movies. I used to like all the robot movies when I was a child. So I said gratitude mode. And then I'll start looking for something that I can be appreciative about. So it shifts your emotional state. And the second one is it transforms your worldview. Once you start appreciating what's around you, what's in your life, you start thinking, okay, maybe the world I see is not as bad as I thought it is. Once you start appreciating your company, your boss, or your clients, your friends and family members, I thought everybody was a terrible person. But once you start being in this gratitude mode, all you see is love, friendship, and care. So once you're in this gratitude mode, you see a lot of happy money around you too. And the third one is if you're in the gratitude mode, you have more energy. Think about yourself who's always complaining and then depressed. And also, I think you can be in a gratitude mode. And when you're in gratitude mode, you can say thank you to your wife and husband and your kids, your parents, your clients, more. And when you appreciate more, you realize that you have more energy. And the fourth one is it changes the action and we decide to take. When we are in the gratitude mode, we tend to do something. We love to do something for the people we care about. For example, if you're in business, you want to do more for your clients because you love your clients. So how can I do more? How can I be more service to my clients and my friends? How can I contribute more to the world? Then your actions will be very different. You'll be more passionate. You'll be more loving. You'll be more caring. That's what gratitude does to you. And the last one is it deepens your relationships. We often forget to thank our close members of the family and close friends. And when there's a Japanese saying, when you catch a fish, you don't have to feed it. That means if you are married to your wife or husband, before marriage, when you're in engagement, you just give flowers, you bring lots of presents. But once you're married, not much. So I think to the closest family members, we tend to forget to appreciate it. Or you may say thank you, I love you, but you don't have that with emotions. So once you are in real gratitude mode to your loved ones, they will have the same feeling back to you. So if you're feeling less emotions and less love, less affection around you, this is the time you have to bring back your gratitude. Next one, please. And this is my favorite part. This is my mentor, my teacher, Wahei Takeda, who passed away a few years ago, unfortunately, but he's still in my mind. So I talk with him every day. And he is called Warren Buffett of Japan. He's one of the wealthiest men in Japan as an investor and a business owner. And he's known for his generosity. So whenever he visits a restaurant, I happen to be with him a lot of times. When he finds a person, a staff at the restaurant with a beautiful smile, he goes like this with his smile. You have the best smile in the world. I want to congratulate you with my gold coin. And he pulls out his gold coin and give it to a staff. And, not many people have seen a real solid gold coin. So you can see how heavy it is. So like she or he would say like, oh my God, this is a gold coin. And he says, you have the best smile in the world. So keep smiling for the rest of your life. And then start the dinner again. And I asked him, why do you do that? You just give away a $1,000 worth of gold coin for nothing. And he said, no. For the rest, for a smile worth of rest of his life or her life. Don't you think it's a great bargain? I bought a lifetime worth of smile with only $1,000. I think it's the best investment I can make ever. So, and but still, you lost your gold coin. So he said, Ken, for a gold from a gold coin perspective, which do you think is more happy to be for the gold coin to be in my pocket or to be in her pocket? And of course, in her pocket, because every day she looks at the coin and says, "Wow, that man gave me the gold coin and said I have the best smile in the world." So Wahei said, "Yes, for the gold coin, it's much happier to be in her pocket. That's why I give it to her." So I have so many episodes, and I wrote a book on him with my friend Janet Atwood. It's called Maroup, M-A-R-O-U-P. It's about gratitude. So if you're interested, please go to Amazon and look it up. It's just $1 or something. It's my gift to the world. So Wahei inspired so much about happy money because Wahei said, the most important thing is gratitude. That's why I'm sharing this with you. Wahei is like a Zen Buddhist. Whenever I talk about business and investment, his answer was very Zen. So I said, what is the key to finding the right company so I can make money? He says, the company with a good heart. And what? It's not a PER or ROI. He doesn't read those things. And I said, what? Company with a good heart? He said, that means who cares about the products, service, and focuses on it. They focus on what they do, what they're good at, and then forget anything else. And I asked him, so how can I find a company with a good heart? And his answer was, unless you have a good heart, you cannot see. So like, oh my God. And so whenever I ask him a question, he gives me just one line or two lines. And then for the next few weeks, I have to think about it. And then it's haunting. So, but it's one of the most fun memories I had with him. This Zen Buddhist monk kind of answers questions and answers, which I'm happen to take the form from him. So later, if you have some questions, I'll answer it in a Buddhist monk way. Okay, next one. And I want to show you one of his dreams, his sweet castle in Nagoya. Nagoya is a few hundred miles away from Tokyo Disneyland. So kids cannot go to Disneyland if your parents are not financially comfortable. And he made his fortune by selling cookies for kids. So he's like a Charlie Chocolate Factory person. So he instead, he wanted to pay back to the kids in the area because he made all the money from it. So he built this real European castle. He sent architects to Europe and study the buildings, and then he built this in the middle of nowhere. So when you drive, there's nothing, and then boom, it's like this castle. And inside it, there are many classes for kids to learn how to bake cookies like this. And this is Kids Paradise. And also, you can see these pictures on the left. I don't know if you're familiar with cosplayers. It's about they're into anime. And so this castle was one of the anime. So people come to this castle. It's a mecca. So a lot of young people from all over the world come to this place to take pictures. And kids love baking cookies and doing all kinds of fun stuff in his theme park. So his fun time in his 80s, before he passed, was looking around and just chatting with these young kids. They didn't know who this old man was, but he was smiling all the time. Next, please. Okay. And 5 doors that gratitude opens. I want to go one by one if I can. Next one. So 5 doors, as I talk about, if you have gratitude in your heart, it opens up new and deeper relationships, which is amazing. When you are in gratitude mode, for example, I talked to a cashier at the staff at the convenience store, and I sometimes have a chat for a few minutes, and I get to know him or her better that way. And I'm an author, so oftentimes I get so many great fun stories from a small chat. So and my conversation often starts with my sincere thank you. And when they're in super busy mode, they say, "Hi, where you're from," which doesn't happen so much in Japan because people are not used to talking to strangers. But somehow, thank you opens their heart, and then I always find friends wherever I go. And so this gratitude makes new friends for you. Next. Abundance. If you're in gratitude mode, you get more clients. I tested one time. I divided, when I was doing consulting business, I divided my clients into 2 categories. One, I brought some gifts. The other one, I didn't do anything. And gifts meaning like a herb tea, a book, not huge. It's not expensive. But 6 months later, I found out that the one group that I always bring gifts, they gave me so many referrals. And the second one, they gave me some, but not as much. So showing gratitude really pays too. Next. An opportunity. If you're in a grateful mode, oftentimes people help you. And not in the good times and also bad times too, especially now with what's happening. When you ask people with gratitude, they help you. It's amazing. I'm collecting all the fun stories, how strangers and neighbors help one another. And this is a time that you show gratitude. And if you're in need, this is a time you take courage and ask for one. Next. And life satisfaction. If you're in a gratitude mode, you feel more satisfied with your life. Next. And peace of mind. It's amazing how gratitude makes you feel so peaceful. When you say thank you, you go deeper, almost like a meditation mode. So oftentimes I go into this meditation to think about my life, 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things. If I do about 20 or more, I'm in a deep state of happiness and gratitude. So I recommend everybody can do it. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't take a special skills. So be in gratitude and you'll be very peaceful. Next. And why we are not in a state of gratitude? 1, yes. Okay, I'll just go quickly. So we take the good for granted and focus on what we lack. So we don't appreciate about a roof over our head, and we talk about how little pay we get and who did what. So we take things for granted. The second one is we often compare ourselves with others, and that is a shortcut to misery. And we feel like we are losing the game. Somebody's winning. At least I'm not winning. So somebody else is winning. That's a bad feeling. And so when we are feeling that we are losing the game, we cannot appreciate anything. And oftentimes we feel we deserve more. we are entitled to ask more. That is also a shortcut to misery. And we cannot see a better future when something like this is happening in the world. And then when we cannot see a better future, we cannot appreciate about life. But when we see, even though in the midst of a terrible bankruptcy, ugly divorce, if your mind, if your heart is in a gratitude mode, you can see a better future. So I want you to try, and I want to challenge you to see in the midst of chaos, can you stay in a gratitude mode? And the last one is, we are addicted to misery. And misery tastes like honey is an expression in Japanese. So don't get addicted to honey. Next one. And okay, can you? I'll just do it later. So can you skip these slides? I'll just talk about this at the end. Okay, so clearing your emotional swamp is also a super important before inviting happy money. Emotional swamp meaning when we are frustrated. This is how Japanese people think. If we are frustrated with what's going on in our life, we put a sum in this. We just throw away the energy, bad energy around us. And if we are upset with somebody, if we are worried about somebody, we just scatter all the bad energy. And this bad energy that surrounds us is like an emotional swamp. And it consists of worries, frustration, resentment, and despair, stress, and misunderstandings. These, when we feel like we are misunderstood, we feel bad. But if you don't deal with it, it builds up. So a lot of people are drowning in this emotional swamp. So unless you do something to cleanse it, this will trigger you to get upset so easily with your spouses and with your parents, with your kids, with your clients, with your boss, and whoever around you, even a stranger. People love to pick fights because we are up to this with this emotional swamp. And it builds up and clogs the flow of your abundance. So the most important thing is once a day or at least a week, take 5 minutes to cleanse what's going on in your life. And the best way to do it is cleanse it with gratitude. Once you start taking everything and appreciate everything you have in your life, you're going to cleanse emotional swamp. And by doing so, you feel much more clear, and then you get out of this emotional swamp. So once you're out of this swamp, you'd feel very different. So let's do it together. Just imagine that you can see all the bad energy around you, and then just take an imaginary shower and then cleanse it all over. And this is you can use it a few times a day. And when you cleanse with this happy energy, with gratitude, you say thank you to all your problems. Thank you, my bank loans. Thank you, my terrible neighbors. Thank you for being in my life. And you don't have to think about it. Thank everything. And then do it for 5 minutes. And you feel very different. Try that. Next. And how to practice gratitude. Next. So giving, when you're generous like my mentor Wahei, you're sending a subconscious message to yourself that you have enough, and it confirms your abundance. So give only 5 cents, 10 cents to a little box at the cashier. You don't have to donate $1 million to feel abundant. So give $1, $10, whatever you feel comfortable. Start giving, and you feel like you have more than enough. And the second way is follow your passion. Following your heart can be scary at first because you have many doubts. But the cost of not living for your passion will be resentment and frustration later. So all my books I have written focusing on how to find your heart, how to follow it, because that is the only way to make yourself happy. And I think that's the most important, and yet only one obligation to yourself. Find what you love and do it. And the last one is meditation. I introduced a few. I introduced a couple of things in my presentation, but you do it your own way. You can learn from somebody, but if you don't want to do that, just close your eyes for a few minutes before you go to sleep. Instead of just thinking about your boss or the people, and you get angry with them, just appreciate people in your life and thank them in your own mind. By doing so for a few, if you do for a few people, you just find yourself next morning. So just practice a little meditation. Next. Okay, can you show them? And gratitude increases your ability to receive money. Well, that's how you invite happy money in your life. Next. And gratitude increases your ability to enjoy money abundance. I talk about money EQ in my books. 3. Gratitude helps you to trust in the flow of money. Unless you have a trust, you cannot feel safe. 4. Gratitude makes sharing and giving a core part of your life. Because when you think about it, when you take a look at your life consists of receiving and giving. 5. Next. Okay. So what is happy money? Next. Happy money is money that makes you smile when you receive it and gives you joy when you spend it. Whereas unhappy money, I don't even have to explain because 99% of us are living in the flow of unhappy money. When we receive money, a check, we get irritated. When we pay bills, I don't want to do that. We hold on to the money. So you know how money makes you feel. But it's your choice. From now, I want you to start thinking, what does money mean to you? Next. And why do you want money? For your security reason, to show your love and friendship, to make a living? Money can be a mystery. So start thinking, why do you need money? Why do you want money? Next. And the myth of scarcity is everywhere. And from now, because of what's happening in the world, when you lose a job, you probably feel like you have to do something because what? You'll be out of job, you'll be out of money, you'll be out on the street. That is because you believe in the scarcity. Scary city is what I think it comes from. So the myth of scarcity is scarcity believes that everything is limited. So if somebody has something, then we can't have it. Next one. To overcome jealousy, resentment, and fear, we must eliminate the idea of scarcity, the idea that life isn't fair. I lived in North America for a couple of years, and I brought my family over, and my daughter went to school for her first day. She didn't understand much of English. She spoke some, and she asked me, she was, I think, 6 or 7 at the time. She said, "Daddy, everybody's saying something, but I didn't quite understand what it means." And I asked her, "What's everybody saying?" She said, "It's not fair. It's not fair." And I think it's a core belief that every one of us has. It's not fair because somebody else is getting something. At least I don't get it. So, somebody's winning. That is because we believe in this scarcity mentality. So we have to let go of this scarcity mentality. If somebody's winning, congratulate him or her. If somebody is doing well, just be happy for them, because that way you send a great message to yourself that abundance is you. So whenever you feel jealousy, turn it around. Okay, so when she or he is getting something good which you haven't, you should say, okay, I'm next. Thank you for showing me that life can be better. That's the way to get out of jealousy. Next. And I'm approaching to the last of my presentation. Wahe said, arigato in, arigato out. When money comes in, you say arigato. When money goes out, also say arigato. That is the core of happy money. So try that. When you receive money, say happy money. Like, in Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi says, walks in, walks out. It's as simple as that. Money in, arigato. Money out, arigato. You can say thank you, danke, merci, or whichever the language. Yes, next. And circulation and flow of energy. When you're in a mindful state of gratitude, you're preparing what comes in and goes out. You're appreciating what comes in and what goes out. Next. When you appreciate this flow, you aren't trying to control it, and you aren't controlled by it. Next. Instead, you have a mutual relationship with money, like a friendship. Money can be your master. Money can be yours. You can be a master to your money. You can be a slave to money. But the best way to handle money is become the best friend. Next. And what you appreciates is the message I want to give. Our parents and teachers taught us to say thank you. So for many of us, gratitude feels like a duty that we are instructed to perform. Next. But it is more than that. Gratitude is a powerful energy that attracts a good thing to us. So please appreciate something if you want more. Okay? And this is the last one. 8 things anyone can give, a Buddhist tradition I want to share for the last. Empathy, not judging others. Selfless giving with no strings attached. Caring words, be honest and kind. Peaceful behavior, moral conduct and actions. Showing kindness, spread happiness. Be humble, give up your seat or a place in line. Compassion, giving shelter and rest to those in need. Your attention, be a good listener. Even if you don't have money, you can give these things. So you can just read this through again, and please try one every day. Okay, the last one. The power of gratitude. Yes. Please. I want to close my presentation with a quote. The heart that gives thanks is a happy one, for we cannot feel thankful and unhappy at the same time. Douglas Wood. So please stay in gratitude and share your heart with other people. That is the way that we create a happier world and invite happy money in. Thank you so much. And sometime I want to see you in person. It'll be more fun if we could do that, maybe fairly soon. So thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Renato.
Thank you very much. That was brilliant. I loved it. Ken, it's just an absolute honor to hear you and the sense of it. I mean, I've got to say, since I met you and I came across your book and I started reading, I've definitely changed my attitude towards money. Gratitude is a very important part of my life now, more than it used to be.
I think, Bernardo, you have been a happy money person already, before I met you. But you realize probably, oh, I didn't know happy money was in my life. So, by focusing more, you have more happy money.
Yes, no, absolutely. I think my approach was very different than it is. I wanted to ask you just a couple of questions, Ken,
Please.
if you don't mind.
It's my honor.
There was when you spoke at Doria's, that there was a subject that you brought up that really has it's become something that I believe in very deeply now, and I've been sharing your message and your thought. And it was, you were talking about, either your family or a family, and it's related to the new economy. And obviously, the way the world is changing, and you were saying how, a family would be sitting at home and the wine would come from Argentina and the fish would come from China. And it's the same with every item that we have at home, the clothes, the items, everything that we have, and how we are obviously destructing the planet with, literally traveling these products and services when it's not helpful. But we will become more reliant on the local economy and supporting it more. I'd love you to share those thoughts with the people watching, if that's okay.
Yes, thank you. I think it's Bernardo, it's a beautiful and yet very deep question. So think of a life, because right now we've been separated from one another. I cannot go to US, you cannot come to Japan, and we cannot visit one another so easily right now. But with this technology, I feel like I can even touch you and hug you, right? So we are getting so close. But at the same time, like importing, I think this comes from UK. This is my favorite cup, by the way. So if we just buy cups from UK, we're just wasting so much energy. So it's much, much better if we ask an artist just a few blocks away to make one of these cups. But it's not as fun as getting a cup from UK, right? Or US. So I think there's this weird torn apart between these two thoughts. Visiting each other freely would be also fun, but also not wasting so much resources and just stay green is super important too. So I guess we're in this compromising situation that whatever we do could harm us, could harm our environment, but at the same time, meeting you in person is more fun than doing this virtually too. So I guess there's no right answer to that, and I think we have to come up with a better answer and how we deal with it. But I think we're in a very interesting time because everybody has to come up and stop feeling guilty, because whatever we do, we feel guilty, and it's not a healthy attitude. We have to come up with a solution, and we always have. And I believe that our world is getting better compared to 100 years ago. We used to fight against each other, right? Our grandparents, your grandparents, fought against one another. But we're in a much, much better place, even though we're not perfect. So hopefully we'll come up with some kind of solutions in the future. There has been a lot of technologies being developed that airplane can fly with only solar energy, which is fun. My friend, there are companies in Japan who have been developing fuel jet engine with a green leaves, and that's been developed. So if with those technologies, I think we can change the game. I hope we can.
But also, I think part of it is the fact that, and I think obviously with isolation and people being at home now, well, and do we need? And I think it's obviously obvious now that we tend to hoard things. We tend to buy a lot of products, a lot of t-shirts, a lot of shirts, a lot of jackets, a lot of shoes that we might wear 3 times, we might wear 2 times. And obviously now being stuck at home, you can't wear that much clothes. So
nobody's buying a suitcase these days.
No one's buying suitcases. No one's buying shirts or suit for me going out, because you're not going out. So I suppose we are helping the environment, and that's what I think. I think if anything, it's a time to really reflect on what we need, and maybe less is more. It isn't necessarily.
Yeah, Bernardo, you're so right, and I think we have to come up with a new economy system. Our economy grew with wasting a lot of natural resources. but we have to come up with a better system. Instead of going out, we eat more with our friends and family members at home. Instead of just spending so much money on fashion, maybe we can spend on something else, because there's a statistics like 30 or 40% of the clothes they sell, they have to just throw them away because they cannot sell in springtime, right? So those waste have to be considered, and then we have to come up with a better waste-free system. And this is a perfect. I think it's going to last for another few months in northern sphere of the planet. I think we'll be stuck till April. So we have a lot of time to think about.
Well, if not longer, I think by the time everyone's vaccinated and they start opening it up, it's going to take a bit longer. I'm very aware. I mean, I was talking with Dori and quite a few other people. We were talking about the Best You TV and some of the projects, and obviously the idea of becoming the best version of yourself is to make the world a better place. Ultimately, better people, better planet. And one of the things was obviously about helping and educating people, but it's mainly around that idea of addressing the things that the planet needs addressing. I was talking about, like, for example, producing 1 bottle of water, you need 8 liters of water to produce 1 bottle of water, and all the waste that goes, you need, 50 liters of water to make 1 burger, or it's just kind of like some of these things are surreal. And I think it's education, if anything, is so important in order to create a new economy, because there's so much wealth in the world. There's so much wealth in the world that everyone should be able to be okay. And I think you were saying as well that you believe that money won't exist. There's going to be a completely new economy. Well, hey, listen, cryptocurrency is growing. So what's your thoughts on that?
So I have many friends. Japan was one of the early countries who cryptocurrency was introduced. So I have a lot of millionaire friends who happen to be working in a police station, and a school teacher who now owns $20 million in U.S. currency with the worth of a cryptocurrency. And it really shifted their life. They quit being a policeman, and they're just helping the world. And some people do nothing. So it's interesting how money transforms life. So definitely we've been so confused about what's going on with money. I teach money to kids, and I asked kids, what is money? So they say, coins, paper, or like these days, iPhone, you can use it as a wallet, and cryptocurrency, euros and dollars, and people are confused. And kids are not the only ones who are confused. Adults are as confused, because the money you're working so hard to get every month seems very different from the one you have with cryptocurrency, because it just grows so fast, and then person without doing anything are making 10 times more money than you do as a lawyer, for example. So this is a very interesting time, and it's so confusing. And so unless you have a certain ideas what money can be, what's money for you, your emotion will be just swung like all the way around. So you have to have a healthy relationship with money. That's why I talk about happy money, with the cryptocurrency or not. Unless your attitude is not happy, your life will be so miserable. Because I have a friend who quit his job because he's got $5 million in cryptocurrency, but he just converted into other cryptocurrency. And he ended up losing everything. And then the tax government goes after him because when he transferred from Bitcoin to the other, it's supposed to be a sales. So he has to pay half the money he makes for tax, and he doesn't have a job. So if you don't do it right, your life will be 10 times more miserable with $10 million in virtual space. So you have to be very careful with what you do.
Yeah, perfect. Well, listen, it's definitely a very exciting world out there. I think it's very interesting financially. I just hope that there's a new reality where, you know, wealth and the distribution or redistribution of wealth, you know, for everyone, that literally helps educate people, is ultimately what it's about. So what are your next projects, Ken? What are you working? Because obviously you're a very prolific writer. What are you working? What's your next project?
I'm writing on how to find who you are in this chaos. So you have to know who you are. You know, even though economy and the politics are so chaotic, as long as you know who you are, and as long as you keep sharing who you are with your heart and with what you do, you'll be all right. So I'm teaching people how to find your heart, how to find your gifts, and do what you're good at, and stay on the course. So by doing what you love, you can find abundance and peace of mind at the same time. So that's what I'm working on, and then I'm turning a lot of people's lives around because they're in this terrible adversity. You know, if you're restaurant owners and if you're in travel industries, you know, you cannot make any money. So everybody has to change seats. So I'm helping people to find a new life. And I think all of us have to do it at the same time, which is more fun. So I thank COVID for transforming our lives, because we can be closer, we can show more affection, we can help one another with what's going on. So I think we can take this opportunity to be close to one another.
Well, listen, congratulations on all your great work. You're very, very prolific. I don't know, how many books do you write a year, Ken?
No, actually, I have this Ken Honda bookstore online in Japanese.
Okay.
So I write a book a month for that bookstore, and I write 3 books. So I write about 15 books.
Wow. Well, boys and girls, all of us who want to write books, and I've written 5, and that was a challenge. Listen, this man is so prolific. He helps so many people around the world. Your book is an inspiration. You are an inspiration. So, Ken, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm very, very grateful to you.
Stay safe, stay happy, and thank you, everybody. I hope to see you soon somewhere.
Hope to see you soon. Thank you, Ken. Take care.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ken Honda. Great. What a lovely, lovely man. Follow him. He's just got so many great products, so many great books. He is such a personality. So look, we're nearly coming to the end of the day. Ken was our last speaker, but we still have something else to show you. So we're going to run into a commercial, and then right after that, immediately after that, we're going to be showing you a documentary of a friend of mine called he's actually, the friend of mine is Jason Vale, and the documentary is called Super Juice Me. This is something he produced a few years ago. He gave us permission to actually show it to you guys and a couple of the expos, and we're very delighted to show you. It's a thought-provoking documentary that really enhances and explains, obviously, how important it is to eat the right things. It's all about juicing. It's about losing weight. It's about feeling healthy and being healthy. So that's going to be right after a commercial that we're going to play right now. And after that, it's the documentary Super Juice Me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye.
The Best You TV, a TV channel with only the best business leaders and influencers ready to help you rise to the top. Available now on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play. Learn and grow from in-depth interviews, documentaries, inspirational talks, and motivational masterclasses from the world's biggest thought leaders, speakers, teachers, authors, coaches, and highly successful business gurus. The Best You TV is now live.
I've seen family members beyond suffer at the hands of disease. I've lost family members at the hands of disease. My mum as an example, which I find incredibly difficult to talk about. And the reason why I'm doing this documentary comes down to my mum. I've got no brothers, I've got no sisters, I've got no father, I didn't know him. You know, my mom was my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, my world, and she's now no longer with us. She actually had stage 4 lung cancer, and they said she had COPD, and they gave her an asthma pump. Even if the doctor thought she had COPD, I thought there has to be another way. Instead of the asthma pump, let's get to the cause of the problem instead of treating the symptom. My mother saw this place before it was built. We stood here, we looked over, and she said, you have to build this. This may be too late for me, but you have to build it so that people have somewhere to go that actually is a place where people can heal. And I vowed that, look, if there's anything I can do to evoke change, to try and help somebody at all, say, look, you know, maybe there is another way. And that's what we're going to find out.
We're seeing an increase in cancer and diabetes.
It doesn't matter now that you're 10 years old or 80 years old. It's all ages are plagued with very serious illnesses.
It's getting more and more dangerous and more difficult to keep your defenses up.
We're chronically over-toxified. We've got toxins, the medications we're taking, the toxins in all the food supply and the water supply.
The lifelong medications that cause lifelong side effects or adverse events in millions and millions of people.
There's no question in my mind that we're not winning the war on chronic disease.
We're at a crisis point, and if something doesn't change, all of these diseases are going to continue to escalate.
Hello, Jason. I'm going already. Crohn's disease. That's what I have. Crohn's disease. Oh, I'm so stupid. I just can't believe I'm crying so much. Majority of my life I've spent kind of ill, sick. You know, I think it's a very, very difficult thing to live with. Just affected every single aspect of my life.
My number one problem is I have ulcerative colitis. I don't take medication for it because all the medications that they prescribed me had steroids, and basically I started getting cataracts in both my eyes.
I tell you what this shows me, how many people the medical intervention is not working. It's just clearly not working.
All of this stuff is clearly not natural and shouldn't be happening to a 26-year-old.
Now, on a daily basis, if you have a look just here, these are some of the medications I take. I'm now carrying 135 kilos, and I cannot carry this weight.
There are so many massive issues to deal with.
I have a very long list of ailments. I can say, honestly, I have not felt well for 25 years. I don't see that changing. I need to try, but at my age, who knows how that's going to go.
I don't know if super juicing is going to work for you. I don't know, but you can't not try.
I'm very overweight, and I've tried everything I can to lose weight.
You represent so many people out there as well.
I need to do this for my health, for my children. The last thing I'm going to try will be weight loss surgery. Please, pick me. I've tried everything.
To be able to be in a position where there's a chance that this experiment could possibly help even one of them, then it's been worthwhile. In fact, you cannot watch any of these videos and not care deeply. Well, they're here. The super juicers have arrived in the middle of nowhere in Portugal, here at Juicy Oasis, where they're going to embark on a journey of having nothing but freshly extracted juice for 28 days as part of my big juice experiment.
My name is John Zor. I'm 29 years old. I got ulcerative colitis, which is an autoimmune disease. I'm a 29-year-old who should be having the time of my life, should be able to do all sorts of things. And I feel, honestly, like I'm 60 years old. I can't do normal things, or I don't want to do them because I feel like if I go out, I'm going to be sick. And it's just not fun.
My name's Estelle. I'm 26. When I was 17, I developed asthma. I get really shaky after I take my inhaler. I don't see that as being a definite solution or a cure of any sort. It's just it's gonna help you with the shortness of breath, but in all, it's not gonna help you with the asthma. It's just gonna help you get through the day, not through the whole month or life.
Hi, I'm Betsy Polly. I will be 52 next week. I have a long list of problems. Started with lupus about 23 years ago. I don't know what it is to feel good. Like if you were to ask me today, I would tell you that I feel good. But my good is not your good. Because you can look healthy. I mean, you walk around, you get the job done. I mean, being a mother, you always get the job done.
I'm Roger Gale. I'm 67 years old. I've got sleep apnea, so I have to wear a breathing machine at night. I have hyperglycemia, and worst of all, I have lupus. I know that there are many, many people in far more unfortunate circumstances than I am, but I've been relatively healthy and active for all of my life without any illness. So it's come as a horrible shock to me. And the worst aspect is that I cannot do all of the things that I plan to do.
My name is Sarah Crosby. I'm 22. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was 10. It can affect any part of the digestive system, anywhere from the mouth to the back passage. Unfortunately, I have it kind of everywhere. I'm a big believer in the fact that fruits and vegetables can help you, like 100%. So if that didn't happen and my Crohn's got worse, it would really hit home, I suppose, that, you know, that maybe I will be on medication for the rest of my life.
My name is Lewis. I'm 22 years old. I've got problems with my weight and being able to walk and things like that. I use food as a massive blanket. I use it when I'm happy. I use it when I'm sad. I use it as rewards. I use it as everything. It's so annoying because I don't want to be addicted to food.
I'm Erica, I'm 33 and my weight is my first problem on my base. So running around after the children, I can't really do that because of my size. We should be able to go out at the weekends at the park. I can't. I've got two beautiful kids that need their mum, and I just feel like I'm letting them down.
My name is Andrew Morris. I'm 51. I suffer with a condition called pulmonary sarcoidosis. I've also got asthma to go along with it, paradoxical atrial fibrillation, sleep apnea, and type 2 diabetes. It's weird for people to understand, but I can go to sleep and I'll dream of waking up and just not taking tablets.
I originally planned to have 6 of them, but after seeing all their videos come in, there was no way that I could only pick 6. So there's 8 of them here. They have 22 different diseases between them, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to all of those diseases and to them mentally and physically when they're just living on juice for 28 days. So if the medical profession seems unable to effectively treat these guys, why do I think I can help? Well, I have a theory, and it all starts with a fish. Think of a fish living in natural, clean, nutrient-rich water. The chances are it will live a disease-free life. But what would happen to the fish if you pollute the water? If you poured, say, cola into the bowl, or some salty potato chips, or greasy, fatty foods like burgers and pizza? What do you think is going to happen? Well, all living creatures have a natural filtration system that can handle a certain amount of just about anything. But if you keep adding more and more junk into the water, the body's going to start to struggle. The poor fish is going to start showing symptoms of disease. It might get a skin condition. It might get asthma. It might become fat or obese. Perhaps it gets a headache or a cough. It might get arthritis and can't move its fin so well. Whatever symptoms it has, these are simply warning lights telling the body there's something wrong. So what's the best way to treat the fish? Medical intervention might suggest that you give it medicine to treat the headache, or different medicine to stop it coughing, or further medicine to help the fish move its fin, and perhaps even more medicine to treat some of the side effects that the first medicine has created. That might treat the symptoms temporarily, but even the medicines themselves add pollution to the bowl. It seems painfully obvious to any rational thinking person what the solution is. Would you want to give the fish more medicine? Of course you wouldn't. The answer is so simple. If you want to treat the cause of the problem, you need to clean the water. So that's effectively what our super juicers are here to do, to clean the terrain where their cells bathe, to clean the water, in other words. It's that simple.
All chronic degenerative diseases are caused by 2 and only 2 major problems: toxicity and deficiency.
We are living in an overtoxic world, and we're living at a time where we're also consuming foods that are devoid of nutrients. And as that toxicity and deficiency becomes manifest in our body, it results in disease.
We have to detoxify and flood the body with nutrients.
So it makes sense to me that we should address the toxicity and we should replenish the nutrients in our bodies if we're looking to heal ourselves.
Once you understand the cause, you got the answer for the cure.
The thing that got me into juicing was the fact that it just made so much sense. It was for me the perfect way to get live nutrition going into my body, because even to this day, I still don't like certain vegetables. I hate broccoli with a passion, I'll be honest. I mean, you got to remember, I was a junk food addict. I had a massive sweet tooth. So to go from that to broccoli, as you can imagine, my taste buds didn't really want to know. And even to this day, I read a book that said that all fruits and vegetables was full of over 85% pure organic liquid fuel. And it's only this fuel essentially that fed the body, and it's rapid nutrition into the cells. And the idea of rapid nutrition going into my cells really appealed to me. And I thought, you know, if I can't eat them, can I drink them? And I'll be honest, the thought of drinking broccoli juice was even worse for my head than the thought of eating it. But you know what? When you extract the juice and you mix it with a little bit of apple, say a little bit of pineapple, a little bit of pear, add some ginger, and you try different combinations, I got so excited. In fact, I do remember even to this day, the first time I even called my mum. I remember calling my mum, this old juicer. I said, Mum, you're never going to guess what? I'm drinking vegetables.
This has got to be good for you. It's fresh fruits and vegetables converted into juice right there on the spot. How can you do better than that? Do you see how simple this is? These plants contain all the elements of life and growth in them.
I tell you now, if there is a system that can get me to have vegetables going into my body, then I knew this would work for anybody.
I am absolutely ready for the journey. I mean, it's a journey to health. It's a journey to learning more about what nutrition can do for my body.
This opportunity, this whole thing, it's really, like I said, the mark
of a new start, of a new life for me.
I'm kind of scared of a whole month. It sounds like a lot, and people have done it. I just feel like I'm not someone who usually has that type of drive.
If you took the medication out of the equation, I could live a normal life. And that's what I'd like. I think that's going to give it to me. So, here we go. Ooh, that's all right then. Thanks.
It's not as bad as I thought.
I like it.
Orange is disgusting. Could I have some more wheatgrass?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
I've been on the juice for nearly 2 days, and surprisingly, I actually feel really good.
Actually, I feel pretty good.
Actually, I feel pretty terrific.
Right, there you go. On the 30th of July 1962, I was born. And what I feel now, I'm going to be reborn. And it's my rebirth. That's it. Thank you. Alright. Alright. Let's turn that off.
Craving food today. Craving a lot of food. I want food. Just one quick high. I sound like a heroin addict.
Hang on, if the super juicers are being fed everything they need from the juice itself, then why does Lewis feel like a heroin addict missing his fix?
They're not missing food at all. I mean, they're having more genuine nutrition than they've probably had in many years. What they're actually missing is they're almost missing a drug in a way. It's like a drug addict coming off of a drug. That's the only way I can describe it.
Imagine the big food industry is like a squirrel who's selling nuts to other squirrels. It wants to sell more nuts because, of course, it wants to make more money. Now, normally in the wild, animals won't eat unless they're genuinely hungry. So it can only sell nuts when its customers are hungry, right? Wrong. All it needs to do is cook the nuts and add these 3 highly addictive, magical substances: fat, salt, and sugar. Now something truly incredible happens. These new roasted flavored nuts have become highly addictive. They create what amounts to a false hunger. Your body is no longer satisfied when you eat them. Your natural hunger cutoff point is gone. Now, the squirrel's customers will keep buying and eating until they end up with an obese squirrel. And the big food industry is doing exactly the same to us. They're manipulating our food so that we eat more and more and more.
Big food is responsible for, I think,
the biggest addiction faced in Western society today. In fact, there's no question of it.
If you go into any restaurant or you go into any mainstream supermarket, we're getting poor nutrition and we're getting toxicity.
It's corn and soy and wheat and sugar and salt and chemicals. That's primarily what people are eating.
Add on to that all the preservatives and the additives that are used in food processing, from MSGs to artificial sweeteners like aspartame, for instance. And also the preservatives are some of the worst that you can get in your body. So we're eating these on a daily basis.
So we're eating a diet that is very sparse on vegetables and very replete with these monoculture foods that have been spun out of factories and dumped into boxes or packages, and they do not contain life. Where is our life?
You don't actually know what you're eating anymore. When you eat one item, it really is composed of 25 different things. Say you're having some sort of fast food hamburger that in the States are made up of 50% corn, and generally it's genetically modified. And then the other 50% comes from upwards of 100 different cows. You have to ask yourself, what am I really eating anymore?
The biggest thing that's wrong with the food that they were eating before they come here is that it wasn't genuinely feeding them. Like, most people are overfed and undernourished, and so they're constantly hungry because their cells are genuinely starving. You don't often think of somebody being morbidly obese or obese and think that they are starving. But the irony is that's precisely what's happening.
If I carried on the way I was going, eating all the rubbish, and you don't realise how addictive all the white starchy refined sugar stuff is. I mean, this week I've not been hungry. I've had the headaches, the withdrawal in the beginning, but I can honestly say I have not been hungry. Whereas if I was to go out to my favourite restaurant, Chinese all-you-can-eat buffet, by the time I'd get home, I'd be hungry because it's not feeding my body what it actually needs. It's feeding it for a little while, and then your body realises that it actually does need the vitamins and the nutrients and everything like that, and is hungry for them things.
Convenience and a lot of this instant gratification lifestyle has become the norm. And so many companies have come in to try fill that instant gratification need.
There's a lot of money to do research to figure out what's going to trick your taste buds. And then there's a lot of money out there to figure out the best way to sell things. And so what happens is we basically become addicted to fake foods.
They're packaged up in all sorts of different forms and sold to us as being sometimes even healthy and nutritious. And they're anything but that.
So our tongue tastes and says, oh, it must be good for you because it tastes a certain way. Well, it's just shaped like something that's good for you, but it's not really good for you. It's actually really bad for you. And you know, food companies, they know this. It's billion dollar industry. They know how to trick you.
Anything that usually says 100% fat-free is loaded with white refined sugar. If something says sugar-free, chances are it has artificial sweeteners in.
Where you want to know why overweight people are insatiably hungry, one of them is artificial sweeteners and artificial flavor enhancers. Like, for example, MSG. Now, MSG in and of itself doesn't really taste good, but what it does is it makes you become addicted to the food, and it makes you want to eat more and more of it. So that's great for food companies because you're gonna eat more, you're gonna want more, they're gonna sell more. It's perfect for them. It's horrible for you.
Everyone wants to talk about food today.
Cheeseburgers, French fries,
Or you can eat Chinese buffet, boiled ham,
ice cream,
Pasta,
bread and butter.
a big stack of ribs with barbecue sauce.
I just want a ham and cheese toasty. Chips, definitely love chips.
Apple Danish pastries.
Not with like normal cheese, with like soft cheese, macaroni salad,
chocolate,
like ham and the bread,
mashed potato,
steak.
I don't even want to keep talking about this stuff because it's starting to make me think in my head, like get back to those thoughts, and like those thoughts are actually starting to leave.
If I said to somebody, look, a banana, for example, is going to cause obesity, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, eczema, psoriasis, high blood pressure, cholesterol. And I said, look, all you need to do is stop eating bananas. The person would just stop eating bananas and they'd find it easy, even if they love them. But if you said to somebody, stop eating white refined sugar, refined fats, or chocolate, or alcohol, or things like coffee, there is an emotional attachment. And addiction to me is if the thought of never doing it again fills you with an abnormal fear, then you're hooked. If it doesn't, then you're not.
I usually have chocolate bars to cover up my problems and my insecurities, and having to deal with everything face on is really, really tough. I feel like this is something I have to do to be able to move on in my life. And I've been eating chocolate, crisps, cola, all that kind of stuff for the past 20 years. I think it's time for me to treat my body with the respect that I should have given it all those years ago.
The cost of our instant gratification life is that we're becoming more overweight, we're becoming more unwell, and we're suffering as a result of these diseases of lifestyle, the diseases of nutrition and the diseases of toxicity.
We're seeing new diseases now, like Lou Gehrig's disease, scleroderma, lupus. We're seeing an escalation of Alzheimer's disease. We're seeing an increase in cancer and diabetes. We're going to see continued escalation of obesity. And right now, we're at a crisis point. And if something doesn't change, all of these diseases are going to continue to escalate.
Who'd have thought, like, fruits and veg would make you feel so good, and so bad as well. I mean, well, it's not the fruit and veg that's making you feel bad. It's all like the toxins in your body that are just getting flushed out. And boy, they've been getting flushed out.
I just did the cross trainer for, I don't know, like 10 minutes, and I started having a small within my chest. It wasn't even like the really painful one where I can't even breathe anymore. It's just, I took like 5 puffs of the inhaler before being on the treadmill. I jogged for a total of 5 minutes, which, so stupid as it may seem, like has never happened. It's crazy that today's day 5 and that would be in effect.
When I arrived here, I realized that the few medications that I was going to bring with me were missing from my bag. I did get in touch with my doctor, and she was even a little nervous, but she said, since I'm coming to a place like this, that I probably don't need to worry about it too much. That maybe this happened for a reason, because I have been trying to get off my meds. Yeah, I think this is perfect for me.
This is my CPAP machine, which is continual positive air pressure. I have to sleep with it. It's my significant other, and for the sake of her sanity, my wife sleeps elsewhere.
Right, this is my CPAP. Now, what it does, it's like I'm taking a breath, and it forces the air, the oxygen at the moment, into me, so I can't help but breathe. I'm going to hit the hay.
I've only been on juice for nearly 5 days now, and to be honest, I've really been struggling the last few days. My ulcerative colitis has been flaring up big time, and it's been causing me a lot of stomach pains, cramping, and diarrhea. I'm going to the bathroom, about 10 times a day, and it's just very painful.
It feels like this is getting worse before it gets better. I mean, for me, a sign that I'm getting better will be more normal bowel movements and less pain in my stomach. I've been untreated for this ulcerative colitis for over 6 years because the treatments that they offer me started making me go blind. I don't normally just cry or whatever, but it's just been very emotional. I don't want to go home, but I think, like, if I was offered, like, do you want to go home? I would probably go home.
First of all, I thought, I wonder if you can get any juice from the apple. It's called apple juice. It's ridiculously stupid, right? But we're so far removed from doing it ourselves. We're so used to buying everything in the carton. We're so used to apple juice looking like you've had a pee, but we don't understand. You've got your 2 apple juices there. I like to do a visual because you can see the difference. Now, what's happened here is that this is still alive. See the rich, creamy head? What do I think of Andy's suitcase full of drugs? That sentence alone says it all. He's got 2 suitcases in his room, one full of clothes, the other one full entirely of medical drugs.
There we have my tablets. I mean, I'm here for 4 weeks now, and I've had to bring a suitcase because of the amount I'm taking. And I'm hoping this journey is going to halve that or even get rid of most of it. And I can't wait for that. I also take steroids. Now, steroids come with a hunger factor. It's quite scary how fast your weight can increase when you start taking steroids. I've been taking them for 13 years, and I would really not like to see my insides because the outside's bad enough. And if I can get rid of the steroids, again, it would be a dream. It really would.
The thing that inspired me more than anything else to do this big juice experiment was my own ill health. I mean, it's hard to imagine now, but I was covered from head to foot. I mean, literally covered from head to foot in an awful skin condition called psoriasis, autoimmune disease where the skin repairs itself roughly 4 times faster than it should and produces these scales on the outside of the body. I had severe eczema. I had severe hay fever. I mean, to the point where I couldn't leave my house. It wasn't just, small amounts of hay fever, itchy eyes. I mean, it was like the worst flu you've ever had. I mean, every single summer for long periods of time. The thing that affected my life a great deal was my severe asthma. I mean, I had really, really bad asthma. For my asthma, I was given the usual, the blue Ventolin inhaler, the brown one, which was the steroid-based one at the time, and I even got some steroid tablets. Not once did anybody even look at what could possibly be causing the problem. They just wanted to treat the symptoms.
With our chronic diseases, we manage them. We don't cure them, and we don't seem to want to cure them. All we do is manage. We lower cholesterol. We try to lower blood sugar. We relieve pain in arthritis. And we give certain medications for pulmonary disease. But basically, there's no attention given to trying to cure these.
This is the injection I take. It's an immunosuppressant. Although it takes away the inflammation of my Crohn's, a side effect is that I'm open to every cold and virus and pretty much anything I come in contact with, which was why I was hospitalized 3 times this year. I got a virus in my heart and my heart rate dropped quite low. So the doctors didn't really know what was happening. They thought maybe I was either really fit. They said Muhammad Ali has a resting heart rate of 32 beats per minute. I was like, I don't think that's me. I think there might be something wrong. So Yeah, this is what at the moment, I'm just injecting myself with every 2 weeks. I'd love to go back to only having to take it maybe once a month. Ideally, nothing altogether. It'd be great to be free of medication, but, I'm just expecting, I'd love to be able to just delay having to take it. So
medicine, we know, doesn't fix anything. It doesn't correct anything. And a medicine is a toxin. And it usually interferes with something naturally that's supposed to take place in your body.
Not one single person will be cured of heart disease, pulmonary disease, stroke, arthritis, obesity, and of course, diabetes with our current medical approach. In spite of all the technology, all the medications, all the research and money we throw at these problems, we are not conquering chronic disease.
I think the pharmaceutical industry it's like disempowering. They're giving people a very simple solution. Here's a pill, take the pill, that's it. Don't need to worry about anything else. Just the mere fact that they think that this is protecting them, stop them from looking at the things that might be causing them to be ill in the first place.
If you are worried about high cholesterol or heart disease, then ask your doctor about Lipitor. Lipitor is a prescription medicine that is proved to reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke. Lipitor is not for everyone and should not be taken by people with liver problems. Your doctor can provide a simple blood test to check your liver.
If you're in the US and you put on the television, you'll see that there is a plethora of drug commercials on TV. These drug commercials are targeted at helping alleviate people's problems. And we have a lot of problems.
Some people can experience allergic reactions to Lipitor, some of which can be life-threatening. Tell your doctor straight away if you have an allergic reaction that causes swelling of the face, lips, tongue, or throat, or affects your breathing. The most common side effects include nausea, nosebleeds, headaches, memory loss, insomnia, nightmares, and an increased risk of diabetes.
If you used anything else and tried to sell anything under the sun that has side effects of liver damage, of kidney damage, of new diseases, of even cancer and death, you wouldn't be able to sell that. But they advertise this stuff all along and the public buys those things. All they're looking for is relief of their symptoms.
We want a quick fix for our modern problems. And the pharmaceutical industry has promised us those quick fixes, but they're not really communicating the costs of those quick fixes.
They're drugging them and drugging them and drugging them, and the drugs have side effects.
I have to put my reading glasses on because the writing is very small. Wow. This is incredible. Right out of the chute. Endometrial cancer, cardiovascular disorders, breast cancer, and probable dementia. Wow.
Memory loss. Again, I presented with it. That causes it. This causes it.
Worsening trouble breathing, coughing, and wheezing.
Dry mouth, nausea, stomach pain.
Lowered resistance to infections.
Confusion, shortness of breath.
Oh, for that side effect.
Feeling sick, weight gain, stomach ulcers.
Feeling or being sick.
Chest pain, coughing up mucus and blood.
Feeling, seeing, or hearing things which do not exist.
Blindness.
Fever, headache.
Bronchitis, bruising, difficulty speaking.
Shock.
Increased pressure in the skull, causing painful eyes, changes in vision.
Shakiness, nervousness.
Rashes.
Loss of bladder control, hair loss, and unusual thoughts.
Symptoms of TB may happen.
Headaches.
Pneumonia.
Cataracts.
Retinal vascular thrombosis.
Irregular heartbeat.
Feeling depressed, including thinking about suicide.
Psychosis, anorexia, osteoporosis.
Ringing in the ears.
Exacerbation of other conditions.
Loss of consciousness.
Feeling dependent or addicted to this product.
Death. Death. If these occur, please inform your doctor. Right. So, if I die, I will tell my doctor. Death is a side effect. Ha ha.
Now, I want to make it fundamentally clear that I am not saying there isn't a place for medical intervention, because clearly there is. I am not anti-medicine. For example, if you're in a car crash and your leg is broken, then clearly a few dream catchers, an Oracleanse, or even juice poured all over your leg are not the first things you're going to need. What you're probably going to need is to go to hospital, get some proper medical attention. And then after that, you might want some juice or other therapies to support the healing process. But the point is that you need to achieve the right balance.
If I have a chronic disease of lifestyle caused by how I eat, how I live, how I react to stress and the toxins in my environment, I need to do something about it that's different than going to the mainstream medical profession. I need to address those causes. And the best way to address those causes is through diet and lifestyle.
For the long-term management of illness, you want to try to wean people off their medicines and start fixing the patient.
I think the turning point for me that made me move away from the medical profession and their drugs was I'd been offered treatment after treatment after treatment. Nothing was getting better at all. And I think the real crunch for me came when the doctor suggested, dermatologist said, for your psoriasis, he said, what I'd like to do is put some coal tar treatment on you. And I said, coal tar, that sounds like the stuff you make a road with, like that hot coal tar. He said, that is what it is. I said, you want to put that on my skin? They said, yeah, we're going to put it on your skin, put you in hospital for 6 weeks and cover you in bandages. It was at that point I thought, you know, there's got to be another way.
Up until now, I've never ever read the sheets. They're there for communications and people can read about things. But they're horror sheets. Now reading them, and reading the possible side effects, as in can happen on an everyday basis. That's outrageous. No, I'm seriously considering what I take as tablets now.
Yesterday my stomach was acting up just a little bit, but today I feel right on form. I really do.
I love being out here in the lake. It's so beautiful and peaceful. Hardly anybody takes advantage of it. And when you're hurting, I think it's the best thing that you can possibly do for yourself. It's nice to get some alone time.
Cheers.
I have degenerative discs, so my lower back has always bothered me. But I just recently had a spinal fusion in my neck. That was actually an emotional one for me. I was able to do things that I actually thought I'd never be able to do with the spinal surgery and the shoulder surgery. So it was awesome. Yeah, it's good to feel I'm clearly healing. I can't wait to do it again. I'll probably cry again too.
still am fighting a roller coaster battle. I feel like I should be further along than I am. So it's just been really tough for me.
Okay, so John's colitis is not clearing up as rapidly as I first anticipated. So as part of the Big Juice experiment, I'm just going to add in an extra juice to see if it makes any difference. And it's based on a study that I've seen about cabbage juice, of all things, and ulcerative colitis. Now, John remains very skeptical about whether this is going to work. He also doesn't want to drink it because cabbage juice is not the nicest tasting juice in the world, but we are going to mix it with a little bit of apple. I am blindly optimistic. And again, it can't do any harm, but it'd be interesting to see if this works.
It looks like a beer that has too much foam on the top. It's like not even going away. I guess there's nothing to do except for try it, right? Wait, I think I might have to actually do this with a straw because there's so much foam in here. Can I take this foam out or no? It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's really not as bad as I thought it was going to be. There you go. Oh, that's what I did.
The thing is, I like red cabbage in salads, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's wonderful. Terrific even.
Well, that was a surprise. This journey is all about surprises, and another one is I never thought I'd ever drink a cabbage.
The mechanism behind all of our chronic diseases is inflammation. Inflammation is the response to injury. Toxins do cause injury. Injury causes inflammation. If we take a look at what we've done differently, it turns out to be the things we eat. We've gotten away from real food. Everything is processed. I mean, we don't eat an apple anymore. We eat applesauce. And it's loaded up with sugars and preservatives and other sorts of things that are potentially toxic. And in my opinion, that dietary change is the cause of most of these chronic diseases.
As we're consuming these modern foods, we're accumulating toxins within the body. As we accumulate toxins within the body, we're becoming prone to illness. And that illness depends on our genetic predisposition. It depends on our genetic heritage. It depends on where our genetic weakness is in the body.
Many diseases are just manifestations from the same things. And the solution always is about improving the nutrient quality of your food, detoxifying, and addressing stress and emotional issues.
It just stands to reason and common sense that if the vast majority of those diseases are caused by diet and lifestyle, then the simple answer surely is to change the diet and lifestyle, and then they'll just get better.
Since I've been out here, I haven't had any symptoms, which is incredible. I'm just kind of blown away by that. I actually arrived with medication the doctor gave me just in case my symptoms flare up. I used to be on it once a month, and because my dependency has increased so much on it, the few days leading up to the injection, I'd get quite ill, very sick and stuff. So I'd know that it's time to take the injection again. Yeah, but since I've come out here, I haven't needed the injection. So I'm about, tomorrow will be a week over when I was due it, and still no symptoms. So yeah, it's going well.
There's only one place, logically, that any of us should be looking for our long-term health. It's the same place that wild animals look for their long-term health and their nutrition. It's nature. We are the only creatures in the world that cook our food. You don't see a gorilla with a barbecue. There's a strange visual there.
If you were on an island, you would find fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and animal protein. Our bodies understand that. You can eat all of those that you want and you will be enormously healthy. Once you start mixing the other things in, it causes such hormonal and chemical chaos in your body that your body just doesn't know what to do with it.
If we got back to eating real food, real things that were made or grown on the land instead of produced in a factory, we would have a better chance to avoid these toxins and a better chance to avoid the consequences of inflammation.
We should be juicing because so many people have impaired digestive tracts, and digestion is impaired because of the diet we've been on. Along come your beautiful juices. They go right into your intestinal tract, and those nutrients get absorbed into your system. They're going right to work within about 20 or 30 minutes. They're there feeding your body, rejuvenating, giving you energy, giving your body life. This is why you should juice.
I think juicing is the perfect antithesis to the failures of the modern diet and the modern food system. I think it is the exact opposite of a Happy Meal. It is the exact opposite of some Twinkie bar or some fast food junk that we're eating.
We've heard you are what you eat, right? And it's so true. We eat things that are dehydrated, that are void of nutrients, then we start to look and feel dehydrated, sickly, void of nutrients. We eat things like fresh green juice that are, a plethora of nutrients and vitamins and hydrates the body, then you start to look younger. You start to look fresher. You start to feel more energetic and more passionate and have more purpose in life because you're actually feeling better.
Juices are very alkaline, so they help you detoxify your body, which is essential for weight loss. They help you reduce inflammation, and it's the best way to get energy and vitality.
It's going to make you feel like a new person. You're going to notice all sorts of improvements you haven't noticed for maybe a long, long time.
I was walking with one under my shorts, and I come back now and I find that I can just slip in and out of these shorts without undoing the buttons. It's like, I should imagine putting on a dress. Not that I've ever done that, but, even though I know I'm going to have to buy more clothes, it's a lovely feeling. It's really brilliant. I know I'm doing well now. It's brilliant. Yeah. I've got space.
I got so enthusiastic about juice. I mean, I saw everything start clearing up. My skin started to improve. My asthma vanished within a month. I mean, that was just me personally, but within 1 month after suffering with it for years and years and years, ever since the age of 8, in fact. My hay fever cleared up, my eczema cleared up, my weight just went down at a rate of knots that I didn't think was humanly possible. I got really evangelical about the whole thing, as you would do. I set out on a mission to juice the world. And, I wrote a book on it and I set it out there. I was giving it to everybody I knew. I said, look, you got to try juicing. Everybody was looking at me like I had 10 heads. Nobody had really heard about juicing at the time. I started to get letters and emails from all over the world. One person would say, do you know what? I did that juicing thing that you said. I did it for 7 days and, my skin started to get better, or my fibromyalgia started to improve. And there appeared to be every single common ailment, condition, or disease that it was improving in some way. I honestly believe that freshly extracted juice has the potential to help millions of people all around the world.
It's the most important thing you'll ever have happen to your body as far as nutrients coming to your 100 trillion cells, because juicing is an immediate absorption of food values.
I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen even after this film goes out. I know what's going to happen. Where they're going to get their protein, where they're going to get their calcium. First of all, let's look at this logically. You get somebody like Andy, for example, right, who is suffering so many different diseases going on within inside his body. He is morbidly obese. And then somebody will say, where are you going to get your calcium? As if this was an issue for him at any given time of his life. The irony is, when somebody starts doing this, people panic that they're going to be nutrient deficient.
If I wasn't here and I hadn't been on juice, I couldn't do what I've just done. It's like as if I come through the doors and Andrew Morris's spirit come through and my body was left outside. If juice diets are dangerous, what I'd like them to do is, for a week, I'll take the juice diets and they can take my tablets and then they can tell me what they think after that. That's all I've got to say on that matter, really.
Doing juicing is brilliant. It's given me so much energy. It's actually made me think about what I'm going to eat when I finish juicing. So I think because you're not thinking, well, you are thinking about food all the time, but because you've been so long without the bad food, all you start craving is the good foods, which is really, really good.
There are some people that will argue and say, when they start to eat normally again, they're going to gain all the weight back and they might get sick again. Well, that depends on what their idea of normal is. We need to remember that their normal diet made them overweight, made them incredibly sick to begin with. So we've got this 28 days that hopefully is going to see massive improvements. And then when they leave, if they go back to their old normal diet, well, of course, they're going to return to normal. In fact, even worse, because they were going in an awful direction.
When we have talks about lifestyle changes and what we're going to eat, we're all sitting around the table and we're actually talking about very healthy foods, salads, beans and legumes and rice and avocados and just wonderful, wonderful things. So, most people would think you're here unable to eat food. You're going to be craving chocolate. You're going to be craving all the chips and all those awful things. And no, I think it's because your body's getting the nutrients. It's craving nutritious food, not the junk food. You're not in that vicious cycle. So yeah, we're all talking about amazing food changes and swapping recipes for just really good, healthy, whole foods.
When they start to eat quote unquote normally again, what should they look for on the label? The label. If you find any food with a label on, then maybe that's the problem. Whatever you're going to eat, you've got to ask yourself this simple question. Is it low human intervention food? In other words, how many humans have interfered with this piece of food before it came to me?
So I've actually felt really, really good these last couple of days. Everything seems like it's finally starting to work itself out. I've actually had 4 normal bowel movements in the last 3 days, which for me is incredible. It just seems like everything is sorting itself out and I feel a lot better. People are even mentioning it to me, like the way that you're sitting and the way that you're acting, you just look better overall. And I feel better. I feel happy. And, I just feel like everything is starting to work out. And I think that this colitis can ultimately go into remission, or what I would like to say cure. And, like I said, I'm just really happy and nothing is going to change that at this point.
Three, 2, 1, go.
Go for it.
Roger.
My word, he's flying.
Before we climbed up the stairs, I took 1 puff before, kind of to prevent to have to use it. That's what I do when I run now. I just have it a bit before.
Is it cold?
It's awesome.
Yeah, but it's pretty freezing.
Come on, bro.
I know. Wait.
God, it's so cold. Is that a fish? I feel weird because I'm in a lake and I've never been in a lake until today. So
Oh, it makes me feel brilliant. That's my English for you.
scary though, because like you get like feel fish everywhere and all that kind of stuff. Are you going across?
Huh?
Oh. Are you going across?
If I don't get killed by a speedboat in the meantime.
I want to do it again.
I've just picked an organic orange off a tree and juiced it, and this is the result from one orange. I've drunk half of it already. It's absolutely delicious. It tastes nothing like orange juice that you buy in a carton, that's for sure.
I've had loads of highs and lows, but mostly highs, and they seem to like outweigh the lows. So kind of, I just feel so much better.
And how do I see the future? Inhaler free, maybe. And organic, definitely.
Everything is going to completely change when I go home. I'm no way going back to the way that I was. No way, and just not going to happen. Everyone's going to be healthy when I get home. We're going to go out for walks. We're going to do things together as a family rather than my partner and the kids doing something and then I'd wait at home for them to come back. I'm actually going to go out, do it, and just enjoy my life. I actually feel really good. To start off with, I was really out of breath and like couldn't catch my breath. And then as I just carried on through, I feel really good, surprisingly.
Well, actually, I'm kind of impressed with my progress. I mean, I walk and I do the treadmill a little bit at home, but I never would have been able to do this.
I'm feeling great, and despite the few uphill stretches, I'm not too out of breath.
Yeah, we're going to enjoy this walk. Take it easy. She's my buddy.
No pressure to like walk fast or be at the front or anything.
It just kind of like sunk in today as well that like we're going home pretty soon. So you just want to kind of enjoy the moment.
I couldn't walk 50 yards. I just done 10K. How weird is that? A few weeks before I came out here, I was laid off from work because I couldn't walk very far. I stepped out of it, and it really feels brilliant. I said I'd be ready. I said I'd be tired at the end of it, didn't I? So here I am, very tired, or exhausted even. I'd love to do it again, though.
You know, it seems really odd that we have reached the stage in 21st century medicine and we are still at the point that we call alternative medicine anything other than medical drugs. I mean, nobody even questions that. Surely the number one doctrine is to first of all do no harm. So surely we should try plant-based medicine first, and then if that doesn't work, we should seek an alternative to what is obvious, and the alternative should be medical drugs. It shouldn't be the other way around.
I think when it comes to looking after your health, you have the power to do it. You're the one that knows your body better than anybody else.
I think when we're really, really healthy, life becomes about nourishing yourself on a mental level, nourishing yourself on an emotional level, nourishing your body.
If you nourish all your defenses and you nourish all your systems and you nourish your immune system and you nourish your brain cells and the body is detoxed, how can you feel but better?
When you look at the fact that the food that you eat really creates the life that you live, everything starts to change.
Juice every day. This has got to be a way of life because that's when you're going to notice your life changes.
This is the bottom line to health. Start doing it on a daily basis. You'll never regret it. It's the ultimate way to feed your 100 trillion internal cells. The ultimate way. There's nothing else that duplicates it.
You will never know how good you can feel until you give juicing a try.
One of the main reasons, of course, I did this documentary was because of my mother's situation. But I'm not saying for 1 second that this is some kind of cure for cancer, nor am I saying actually that it's a cure for anything. But what I am saying is that I strongly believe that the way that we are currently treating lifestyle diseases is flawed on so many levels. In fact, it's completely wrong. I just feel if you just do two very simple, straightforward things, you simply remove the toxicity coming in, the rubbish, and replace the deficiencies, and the body just heals itself.
That's right, it's day 28 at the Juicy Oasis Camp. I'm your host, Lewis Bray.
Day 28.
Wow. It's day 28.
I've been only on juice for 28 days now, and finally I'm there, 28 days.
Day 28. Ridiculous. How I feel on top of the world.
And I feel great.
I feel fantastic.
I still feel fantastic. Able to do far more than I ever could before. I'm really pleased with myself.
The results from this experiment has absolutely astounded me, and I'm going to be a juicer for life.
This just 4 weeks out of my life has changed the rest of my life. That's all I can say. And I'm not being paid to say it.
I see now things that I've always wanted to do. I actually feel like I can do them.
I've missed the kids like mad, but they're getting a happier, healthier mum in 4 weeks. That's crazy.
And when I go home, I really don't know what I'm going to eat.
I've been only on juice for 28 days, and I feel great. 28 days, a month, 4 weeks. I've had nothing to eat. I haven't, let me get this word right, masqueraded. Anyway, I'm not going any further on that word. I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. This month has given me a future.
The weight, I was really, really surprised with 17 kilos, which is 38 pounds. This was my last opportunity. It was either going to be a gastric bypass or a gastric band. This was what I needed to finally go home and sort myself out for the last time. This has been one of the best experiences of my life. I didn't think I would get as much out of it as what I have, but it's just been amazing. And I'm so, so lucky. I've got the tools and the knowledge from being here for the 28 days to go home, and I know that I can do this at home.
I've had high cholesterol for probably 15 years. It's almost half of what it was a month ago. That was one of my big concerns, and the blood sugar was one of my big concerns, and that's all within normal range. And my blood pressure is normal range, and of course the weight is an awesome plus. I lost 20 pounds, but I came with lower back pain, kidney pain, hip pain that I've had for a very long time, shoulder pain, neck pain. Most of my pain's been for well over a decade. A lot of it went away the first week, and the rest, it's all gone. I'm looking forward to getting home and having everybody see, even if I don't say anything, they're going to see the difference in me. It would be impossible to hide it.
I have dropped 33 pounds, which is really, really good. My overall health and how I feel has just become much better. I don't crave foods to make me feel better. I don't crave chocolate. So excited, actually, to hopefully inspire someone who's sat on the couch eating a packet of crisps wishing they weren't, and I hope they feel that, well, if he can do it, I can do it.
My conditions have changed dramatically. My ulcerative colitis, I would like to say I'm going to cure myself of it, but it was a really long journey there. It took me like 20 days to actually even start feeling better, but now I actually see the light, and I truly believe that for me specifically, the cabbage juice, it really has made a world of difference. I guess the message is, if you really want to be better, take control of your health, do whatever it takes, and even if you want to give up, don't give up. Drink your juice, and you'll be fine. And I think if you do that, then you'll be able to take your health back and take your life back.
Over the 28 days, I lost almost 8 kilos. My cholesterol went down from 6.7 to 5.9. That's good. My allergies have improved. And for the asthma part, when I started, I was running 4 minutes painfully. And now I run like about 30 minutes. I've increased my speed also quite a bit. And I walked 20K. So they were great. The results were really good. And just more energized and motivated.
My cramps and the inflammation in my stomach has gone down. I haven't needed the injection at all since I've been here. In terms of the amount of medication, I've gone from being on all this medication and for the doctors being backed up against the wall to not being on any medication at all. So I'm not as dependent on medication as I originally thought, or even the doctors thought. I definitely feel better for this experience. This has just been life-changing, 100%.
I've been able to come off all my medication because of some of the meds. I was hyperglycemic. I have no hyperglycemia at all now. I had no shakes, no fainting fits, nothing. And it's life-changing for me. It's wonderful. You can only do yourself a favor if you try this. It's the best food you can put into yourself and the fastest way you can get healthy, without a question. I'm taking away a fantastic experience and a great deal of knowledge, and what I believe is the ability to maintain my long-term health. And whilst I may still be 67, I certainly don't feel it.
My results, I was well happy. First of all, this morning, we jumped on the weighing scale and I found that I'd lost 38 pounds, which, I'm really chuffed about. I arrived as a diabetic. I'm leaving with no sign of diabetes. The CPAP machine for sleep apnea, that now is a doorway because it's no good to me at all. If I didn't change, then I really wouldn't have lasted much longer. I would have probably had another year, 2 years in me, but that would have been it. I would have been dead and it would have been too late to juice. This 4 weeks. That's a juice. That really is a juice.
The results have been phenomenal. Yeah, it's the end of the 28-day experiment for sure, but I really hope this isn't the end for them. I hope this is the beginning of lifelong change. And more importantly, I hope that they pick up the tools that they've learned while they've been here and they really take charge of their own health and understand that their health from this point on really is in their own hands.
To notice the big improvement in such a small amount of time, I just want to get home and carry on. I feel amazing.
200% better. I feel great. I feel energized.
Now I feel like I'm on a course to get progressively better, and you know, all of these amazing results really give me the momentum to do that.
I truly feel like I'm 100% right now, which I have not felt 100% in probably 25 years. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
I'm looking forward to trying to maintain like a healthy lifestyle when I get back and just keep healthy, basically.
I feel like my attitude towards medication has changed. I know that I can go a month without my medication, and it's kind of the start of something beautiful, I think. So I'm kind of delighted.
My overall health has just improved beyond all recognition. Health and happiness, those are the two main symptoms I'm suffering from, and that's terrific for me.
And now my journey has really saved my life. It's there's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's fact. It really has, hand on heart, changed my life.
This is absolutely fantastic. Here, I'm on the start line of the biggest half marathon in the world. In June, I couldn't walk 300 yards, and I'm now about to do 13 miles.
The library that I have of information that I have been reading for 10 years, trying to get better. Every book that I bought and every little thing that I went for, I thought, okay, this is going to be it. And this actually is it.
I got you!
The doctor was kind of concerned that I wasn't on medication, and he said that I will never be able to cure my Crohn's disease with food. He just kind of said that point blank. And then he followed up all that by saying, by the way, your results are, there's no evidence of Crohn's disease in your gut.
I'm not having any of the pain or problems. The cabbage juice has really been a miracle for me.
Well, now there's a funny old story. Once we had the interviews at the end of the 4 weeks, Jason said, what was I going to do? And I couldn't think of anything else but staying, really. Now we'd started, I'd really like to see it through. Yeah, well, as you know, I had 2 suitcases coming out. One was full of tablets. The other one was my clothes. Now, as I said previously, I was taking 40 tablets a day. But when I actually counted them up, it was actually 52 tablets a day I was taking. Now, Jason did want me to go home with just 1 suitcase, and that was my clothes, obviously. But unfortunately, I still do have to take 2 suitcases. One is my clothes, and the second one I actually have here, and that's my tablets. So, yeah, I got 2 tablets a day now I'm on. So I've lost 50 tablets somewhere, and I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, here we go.
My name is Carrie Kennedy, and I have been super juiced.
My name is Brendan, and I've been super juiced.
Hi, I'm Dominique, and I've been super juiced.
Hi, my name's Julie Duggan, and I've been super juiced.
My name is Lisa Ambrose, and I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I've been super juiced.
Juicing brings you so much energy.
Juicing has literally transformed my life. I'm 49 years of age, and I feel better than I did in my 30s.
I'm 80 years old, and I feel absolutely great.
I felt so incredible on that program that it was a catalyst for me. I just couldn't stop juicing.
I've been juicing for 3 months, and I've already lost 32 pounds.
That's 22 stone, and it's not that long ago. It's only 14 weeks ago. I've lost 30 kilograms in all.
A year ago, I was over 4 stone heavier, very unhealthy, and I feel like a new person today.
I've lost over 60 pounds, and what's more important for me personally is I have kept it off.
Since I started juicing, I've managed to lose 7.5 stone.
So far, I've lost 91 pounds. I feel absolutely fantastic.
That's me in the jeans that I used to live in, slightly bigger than I am now.
I've lost a load of weight, I've come off a lot of medication, and got more energy and more clarity.
I have lost more than 120 pounds, but more than that, more importantly for me, is that I have cured myself from an incurable disease, from polycystic ovaries.
Juicing's had a massive impact on my life. It's helped me with more energy. I can think clearer, I can see clearer. My so-called ADHD isn't as bad.
I no longer have diabetes, no medication, normal blood sugar, and I feel amazing.
Since discovering juicing, I've managed to lose 6.5 stone and overcome my epilepsy, asthma, IBS, and eczema.
5 years ago, I was diagnosed with an aggressive form of breast cancer. So I turned to juicing, and overall, I feel absolutely healthier than I've ever felt in my life.
After a year of being on medication, having an operation, and constant to and fro from doctors and hospitals, I am no longer on my medication. I feel so much healthier in myself, and the symptoms have pretty much stopped. It's completely changed my life, and I would recommend everybody to give it a go.
I only have 1 kidney, and I've always struggled with the amount of fluids that I have to have in a day. Juicing completely solves this problem.
I was very, very overweight. My blood pressure was high, and I seriously don't know how I'm still alive. But juicing really did change my life in a real positive way.
I tried to get rid of psoriasis using whatever the medical industry prescribed me. By December, I'd cleared the condition by 90%.
I've managed to get rid of a load of illnesses like eczema, asthma, and frequent chest infections.
Even better, my chronic childhood asthma that has plagued me my entire adult life has completely vanished. These things here that I used to call my lifeline and puff on them like 3 or 4 times a day, I no longer need them. So long, meds, and hello, juice.
I've been juicing for 8 years since my diagnosis for breast cancer. And hand on heart, I can honestly say I have never felt so amazing, healthy, looked as healthy as I do.
I started juicing a 1.5 years ago, and I found it to be amazing. I've got a chronic anemia, which is called thalassemia minor, and I'm also an athlete. The juice has helped tremendously to giving me the energy that I was lacking.
I've gone from someone who was getting old before their time to someone that feels so young again and so excited about, you know, what's coming in the rest of my life.
I'm getting my old self back, and that's what it's all about.
I'm just about to have my double ginger shot, so cheers.
go out and get your juicer. Go out and get some fresh fruits and some fresh vegetables. Do it, because nothing could be simpler in taking back your life and taking back your own health. And I promise you, if I can do it, you can do it. You can do it.
I'm so thankful and blessed to be a part of this program. And I would just encourage everyone to go out and get a juicer and get some fresh fruits and vegetables and get to juicing.
If you want to make the rest of your life the best of your life, choose juice.
Do yourselves a favour and be super juiced.
Cheers.